Hey everyone, this is your boy Got to C's Arcade. I'm sorry about the early early video that I was supposed to put on. I was supposed to put on the 25 most wanted arcade one up cabs, but my co-host hasn't popped up yet. I've been trying to get in contact with him, so I'm going to give him another day to basically hit me up, and if not, I'll probably wind up doing it Tuesday. So Tuesday are probably what it is. So I'm just online right now. Just kicking it. Basically see what's going on. I've been gone for a couple months. I think my last video, I think for all the subscribers, I think I was at 91. Now I'm at 111. So I think everybody to help me to get to 100 subscribers. It's been a great 6, 7 months. Yeah, 7 months of me being online, being as a podcaster. I'm learning a lot. So, and definitely doing videos is I have to do them more consistent. But my job, being that I do the type of job that I have, I'm out in Austin and Dallas. So it's really hard to basically to get next to a computer, do the type of videos I want to do. But I'm gonna continue to do what I do, and hopefully, when I get more time, I will settle down. So hopefully during the winter time or like late fall, I could probably be at the laptop putting more content out as far as for the home arcade community. What I have noticed in the home arcade community, Arcade One has not put out any new cabinets. That's something that's been a running situation for the last couple months. I know if you noticed that my post, uh, you notice that I bought my last two collabs, MK30th and Yoga Flame Street Fighter for 329. I was trying to wait. I was literally waiting on that sale for a while, and I finally got it. So I'm not gonna put out any reviews or any additional content because we already seen tons of reviews on the Yoga Flame or the MK30. So I think it's kind of pointless to continue to do those type of content when it's already gone. But my thing is that is not what I want to talk about. I wonder where all the new stuff is at. Like this is summertime. We'd have figured that Evo would have came around or E3 or Arcade One would have basically told us more about the new cabs that's coming. Like what's going on with Time Crisis, or what's going on with Street Fighter 3 or Street Fighter Alpha or MK30 or MK4 or Kubrick or Robotron. Where's these cabins at? Where's the new legacies? Like, where's the new legacy cabs? I haven't seen anything. All I'm hearing is how everybody was frustrated with Fast and Furious and Time Crisis is still MIA. Where's the new stuff at? So I'm wondering at this time what's going on in this community. What is going on with these arcade companies? It's not the community that's the issue here. It is the home arcade community as the whole. Where's these companies at with these new cabs? RIP to iArcade and their situation, but I did buy the Black Edition Double Dragon, so I am going to continue to keep that cab. I'm not going to mod it just yet. If I do, it'll be in the long run. I'll probably get another year, but I want to know where these new cabs at. That's where my intrigue is at. Because right now I'm sitting at 49. I think I'm sitting at 49 cabs, and I'm really wanting Daytona. I'm still looking for a couple more before I shut it down and call it quits and move on to a different kind of criteria for my podcast. But until then, I'm still interested in Arcade One Up, and I would hope that we see new stuff going into the fall. I know the debacle with MVC2 and Blitz, they did not with the online issues, and that was a nightmare. So I would love the transparency of Arcade One Up to come online and basically tell us like what is their game plan going forward. Are y'all willing? Are y'all gonna give us a roadmap to your new cabs, or y'all gonna tell us like, well, this is what's going on? Maybe we went back to the drawing board. Maybe we went back to the drawing board, and we're basically assessing all the issues we had in our earlier cabinets. Like, give us something. Give us some new information. Give us some. Give us something to go with. And I noticed that we haven't got any new information from anybody. So I'm wondering. We see the new at game stuff that's coming. I'm definitely intrigued about the 4K stuff. I definitely am curious about it. I definitely want more information for. I make a pickup for both of them because I'm intrigued to both of them. I do have the ultimate the Ultimates Legends. Oh, what's going on, Bobby's Arcade? If you want to hop on, I can send you a link if you want, so we could, you want to chat it up, because I do have some commentary, if you like. I would hope that we see more of the 4K stuff, but I definitely am intrigued to see where Arcade One Up is going to put their footprint for the remainder of the winter. So hopefully we'll get something soon, but I'm kind of getting a little nervous about this community as a whole for going into 2024, because 2023 has not been a great year for us as far as what we should be seeing. I think we got kind of spoiled during the pandemic, having a flood of cabinets, flood of titles to keep this community buzzing. I noticed that a lot of people are jumping out of this space. They're buying Stern's pinball cabinets, real arcade cabinets now. So it is definitely something to be aware of. I don't want to quietly give up on this community just yet, because I do like what's going on. Beyond the negative stuff that I could do without, I would like to see more cats come forward. And that's why my next video for my 25 most wanted arcade one up cabinets, hopefully Arcade One Up will see it and take some notes from it. Just waiting for my co-host to come on and we can do this video. Hopefully, if I could do it tomorrow with him, I'll probably knock it out in the morning or in the afternoon, depending on his time, what his time looks like. But if he doesn't, then more likely it'll be Tuesday. I'll do it by myself. So I'm gonna give it all the way to Tuesday, because I know I won't be here for at least a month and a half. I'll be right back in Dallas working. So being I'm home where I'm at, I want to try to knock out this video. I want to knock out this video and put this content out, because I feel like it's something good to go down the road with. And we don't see a lot of videos for Arcade One Up in a positive light, and we're not telling. And hopefully, we can tell Arcade One Up these are the cabinets we want to see. So I think you'll like this video that I put out. I definitely put some time in it. I went and got a lot of votes in it, and hopefully we will see how it turns out. But I'm kind of waiting on my co-host, and hopefully he hits me back on IG, and hopefully we can get this out there for the masses. So if you got any questions, Bobby's Arcade World, you got any questions for me, please hit me up. You can definitely text it. I see you hello, but I know there's no one in my chat room right now. It's kind of blank right now, but I'm looking at the time slot I'm in right now. Is almost 9 here in the part of Texas. So I'm in the mountain time. So it's probably 11 on the East Coast. It's probably 10 in the Central. So I think everybody's either asleep or partying or drinking or watching a good movie or at the movies. So I'm just on here because I'm kind of bored right now, and I'm sitting in my house just chilling out. I don't want to do no video game content. We see enough of that already. Another thing I have noticed, I noticed that we having a lot of sales. What's going on, David? Okay. Oh, so well, let me know. I want to see that content, Bobby. I mean, because your room was kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I love you. I love your room content. I love how big it is. You gave me inspiration when I put my room together. To be somewhat a little competition with you. I don't have as many cabinets as you do, but I have the majority of them, and I think you'll like my collection going forward. I have everything back to wave one. I think a lot of people got rid of their wave one or they modded their wave one. I kept all my wave one, so I just probably added like new decks, light up marquees, risers with all my stuff. Uh, I think you'll like how my setup is. It kind of had that Gotham City look, so it will be a lot of Batman type theme in here, a lot of Joker theme in here. So I think you'll like my room. But you gave me a lot of inspirations, and I want to thank you for your room tour because your room tour was great. Um, and notice that a lot of people have been hopping out to space. We've seen a lot of new content creators hop in. Shout out to PD7. Shout out to Corner Cave. Shout out to Bobby's Arcade. There's still at 70. But I plan on downsizing them in half as they get Venom Pen. Wow. Oh, what's going on, Manny? What's popping? I appreciate it. Okay. What's going on, Manny? I might have to bring you up here one day so you can see my collection, man, since you're nearby. Okay. You're going to be at work what day so I can come and pop up so that way I could bring you to my house one day so you can see my setup. So you're going to get that Venom pen, Bobby? Okay. Well, I was looking at it. I don't know paying like 8-10 grand for a pinball machine. I'm not a big pinball player. I think the pinball machine looks good, but I never really been a pinball player, so I think I'm gonna stick with my V pen for right now. Down the road, maybe I might change everything, might get rid of everything, and I might start diverting to that. But right now, I'm gonna stay where I'm at. I got in this collection because of all the things that will happen during my divorce, and this would allow me to hop in this space. But I'm not really intrigued with pinball because I never gravitated towards that as a kid. And being that I'm 46 years old, actual pinball never was something stimulating to me. I grew up in the arcade in like the mid 80s, so I mostly like playing real arcade and basically pinball was mostly old school, like for the old school generation, like the people that grew up in the 60s and 70s. That was more catered to them. I think the pinball is great, but it's just not for me right now. I think I'm gonna just wait and see, what happens. So right now, when you get your Venom pinball, please do do an unboxing and a review on it because I would like to see how it turned out. So that way I can hate you from a distance. I'm just messaging you. I love you, brother. So, but are you when you're gonna go and buy it? Did you already get the premiere or the exclusive package? Uh, Bobby, did you get the? Are you thinking about buying one, or you already purchased one already? Because I know there's a lot of people in our space when I got the premiere package for the Venom pen. Okay, you get a premiere. Okay, premium. Okay, cool. Well, just do an unboxing. I just want to see how it turned out. That way I could be the first one to watch your unboxing because that's gonna be pretty cool. Having a pinball machine is too loud for a medium or small one. I have a friend who has one and he is overwhelmed. Wow. Okay. What kind of pinball machine do you have, Manny? What kind of pinball machine does he have? Because I mean, there's a lot of different versions out here right now. Is something that he bought like is it something that was made in the 70s, something that was made in the 80s, and what title is it? I know the maintenance is crazy for one of them, and that's a big thing too. Like my last pen was a 95 Bally's Theater of Magic. Oh wow. I gotta Google that. I gotta see what that looks like. Let's see. Okay, I like the cover. It looks great. It looks crazy. Let me put it on the screen so everybody can see it. Share screen. Yeah, so this is what my boy Manny or my boy Bobby is talking about. It looks good though. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it looks great. I mean, it's a little old school for me though. It's beautiful. He has a Jurassic Park one. Oh, I seen that one. Yeah, I assume. Yeah, I seen the Jurassic Park Manny. That I actually seen one in person. Those things look awesome. I think they had one down on Mesa at that. There's a bar. It's like a barcade down on Mesa. They have one. So I definitely seen the Jurassic Park one, and I seen one while I was in Austin as well. They had one at this barcade near I 35. It's near Sixth Street down there on in Austin. So they had one. Yeah. So hopefully, I'm just gonna sit back and watch the culture of the home arcade either wither away or get stronger. Hopefully, we have a stronger year next year. I'm hoping that we'll get some good calves coming into the new year. Um, I definitely want to like some of the things I want to see next year or the near future. I would love to see. Let's see. I would love to see a virtual cop next year. I would love to see one. Hopefully, they'll get an open ice as the next sports cab. I would love to see that. I would love to see pole position if possible. Um, I would love to see Daytona if they could get it. I would hope they could do that. Afterburner would be awesome. Um, an Area 51, a shooting cab would be great. I would love to see that. Robotron, I mean, if they could do Smash TV with it as a collab cab, I would definitely buy that. I don't know as a Robotron by itself. I know it has a lot of nostalgia with the community, but honestly, I personally would not buy it. I probably wait until it go on sale and then go and cop it. So I would do that. I would love to see a track and field. I think that was a buzz cabinet. That would be a great cabinet to have. A Cuber would be awesome. Of course, I would love to see a Star Wars trilogy because that would go with my Star Wars cabinet I already got. I think everybody would love to do that mashup right along with the Star Wars pin, V pin. So that would be great. And House of the Dead, I would love to see that. I would love to see those caps. But I would love to see a Spy Hunter if they actually got one. Tell me what y'all would want to see out there. And, so I would love to see these casts pop up if possible. But if it doesn't come to fruition, I got my at Games Legend here. I can always add it. I can always coin out it, so it won't be a big thing. I can just get a steering wheel and call it a day. Crazy Taxi would be great, nice. That would, but the music would be a problem. The problem is it's the music. It's not the fact of the game, it's the music that goes with Crazy Taxi. Crazy Taxi has a great soundtrack. So to get all the publish the all the rock bands and the record companies to release the music to the game without them doing mods to change the music out, that would be an awesome cat. I would buy that. That would be a day one cat for me because I know they will only do a limited run on those, and I know I would have my credit card ready for that. I would love to see a crazy. I would love to see a Crazy Taxi. I think that is in my countdown. That is definitely in my countdown. Um, I would love to see that. I would love to see a Konami legacy. That would be awesome. That would be freaking awesome to me. That would be an awesome cab for the masses. So I would love to see a Konami cab if possible, if they ever came out with one. You know, I would love to see it. Like, I'm gonna add this to the screen right now. So, wrong screen. Oops. Remove. So let's see. All right. Sure. So if it was possible to show this, I would do a Konami Legacy with these titles. I would do it with Violent Storm, Mystic Warrior, Rush Attack, Monster Mauler, Life Force, Vendetta, Running Gun 2, Sunset Riders, the main event. I would add all these titles to make a Konami Legacy. I think this would be an awesome cab for the masses. This would be an awesome cab. And I kid you not, just to see that. Rolling Thunder is already on the Pac-Man. It's on the Pac-Man Legacy. I mean that's on my Pac-Man Legacy. I can actually it's on the 40th anniversary. You can get that anywhere now. So if you go and get the Pac-Man Legacy, the Miss Pac-Man Legacy, Rolling Thunder is already on it. Sunset Riders, I think that would be great on the Konami Legacy if you could add Turtles, Simpsons, and X-Men to it, but I don't think they will do that. But I think those titles that I actually read off as Sunset Riders or Vendetta being the main marquee games, I think that cab can actually sell out. I think that cab will sell out. If Arcade want to do that as an exclusive buy, and they actually did like maybe 1,000 of those cabs, day one, I kid you not, they'll sell those cabs out because that games list that I just read off would kill everything. Yeah, I didn't know that was that nice. So I would honestly, it did require some maintenance. Let's see. Okay, it did require some maintenance while I had it. The flippers would break. Sometimes require soldering the wires out of all my whole arcade. One just wanted to play pinball. I mean, yeah, depends on your audience. Yes, it depends on your audience. I do agree with you, Bobby. What are your thoughts on the arcade? Okay, what is my thought on the new Marvel cab? I like the artwork. The artwork is beautiful. I have to agree with 19K Fox on the side panel with when Magneto would have been on. Oh, that'd have killed the cabinet. I don't care for the light up marquee. I think the light up marquee is trash, but the games list is still the same as the NBC. So for people that missed out, well, not really missed out, but if they want something different, that's perfectly fine. But me personally, I'm not going to spend $700 for a cab that I already got. I bought MVC when they first debuted. I got $125 off of the original price through Target. I always have my cab. I like the lineup. I mean, yes, they did mess up with the online feature for MVC2, but I do have MVC1 and what's the other one? The red cab to it. I think that's X-Men versus Street Fighter. I got that one. So I got all three cabs for that. So me, honestly, I think it's a beautiful cab, but I think it's to a diehard Marvel fan. It's a diehard. And I think whoever gets it will be a great cab. I think it'll be a collector's item down the road for like down 30 years down the road. You can probably sell that cabinet for like dollars on dollars. But right now, as far as me going to get it, yeah, I'm a pass. I'm good. I appreciate it. The total was 1,057 with shipping and tax. Nah, I'm good. Nah, 1,000 for that. Nah. Same games list, nothing's changed. It would have been great if they'd have added the Punisher to it. The Punisher is basically in the vault. That would have been great for them to pull the Punisher out. Put the Punisher in that game lineup. Then maybe I would have probably thought about it. But no. I'm good. I'll pass. Bobby, are you deciding to go and get that? Because, I know I didn't see a lot of people in the community thinking about purchasing that cab. I mean, even though it was at the Comic-Con on display, but I didn't see a lot of people thinking about buying it. Everybody was more focused on Sturm Pinball, Venom Pin. So I'll pass. What else is out there? I wonder if good question. Do you think a Player's Choice arcade one-up? Okay, this is the problem with the Player's Choice. Nintendo is stingy with their titles. So it would be like, I think you're better off just going to buy a real Player's Choice or mining an arcade one-up to get a Player's Choice. But for me personally, I don't think arcade one-up have shown they can be trusted with people's titles. Look at the cabinets that everybody like. Look at your cabinets as a whole. Do you feel that the buttons, the games, actually matches the price and the basically the quality control is actually conditioned for people to actually for Nintendo to loan their license to arcade one-up? No, because if I was in Nintendo, I wouldn't do it. If I was in Nintendo, I'd just do it on my own. Look what they did with the mini consoles. The mini consoles told that they still have people willing to fight over their stuff. So why would I give it to arcade one-up and split revenue when I could do it myself and do it in a 3/4 scale and sell bundles out there? And then you can have a way to mod that cabinet to add more Nintendo titles to it. I wouldn't need arcade one-up for that. I'd be a fool if I was Nintendo. I mean, I kid you not, it wouldn't make any sense to me. And I don't blame Nintendo for not loaning out. However, I would basically give arcade one-up a bone. I would basically allow them to do the original Donkey Kong. I would allow them to do the Mario Bros. I probably allow them to add Popeye to it and let them just do a 3-version cab. That's it. I would just let them do a 3-game cab, charge $1,000 for it. I think people will buy it. If it's in the Player's Choice cabinet, yes. And that form factor, I think it'll be a winning cabinet. I don't think a lot of people will complain. I think everybody will wait for it to go on sale. But I think if you do a limited run of 500 cabs for that one, I kid you not, you'll sell out within an hour of that. I kid you not. I would buy that Player's Choice. I would. Even but the question is, would you buy it as a deluxe or an XL? That would be the question, what form factor they bring out. Because they're not going to go with the Pro stats because the Pro KI was trash. They learned that. So, honestly, if you do it in a Player's Choice with those 3 games, yes, I would do that. But as far as like a Player's Choice with 10 games, no, I would. I would let Nintendo. Nintendo was better off doing it themselves. IRK was an eye opener for me. The biggest fear is the parts and PC dying during the normal play, and then not having any stop like arcade one piece. Okay, that's a good point because I do have a first generation Black Edition, and I think that is going to come in time where I think a lot of these IRKs are going to get gutted out. So I think honestly, Bobby, I would basically have a Pandora's box or a Raspberry kit on deck. I would just get ready to get one of these out because you got to think about it. All these games for IRK wasn't that great. They didn't have no like AAA bangers. That was the problem with their cabinet. That was the problem with their company. And when they eventually got to AAA titles, they were already going out of business. So it was kind of like, it kind of defeats the purpose. I bought it just for the Double Dragon. That was the reason I bought it because I knew RK1 Up, even when we saw it down in Florida, down in Miami, I was hyped that we was going to get a Double Dragon by RK1 Up. But they never got, it never got past the buyers, the retail buyers of the store. They didn't want to purchase the cabinet. They didn't want to purchase it. So that would make me go out there and get this one. I got it for $400. I got the light up marquee coming in like a few days. I got it off SCs for like $100. I'm gonna put it on top. That's it. I mostly I play Double Dragon. That was the reason why I got it. So I didn't think it was a bad deal, but I don't keep my cabinets on. I only turn them on when either I have kids over or I'm doing a podcast or I might play for every once in a while. Wonder who? Like who? Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about? So honestly, Bobby, if you want to hop on, I can send you a link right now, man. I can send you a link so you can hop on. Same thing, man. If you want to hop on too, you can hop on. We can have a chat, because we can have some dialogue if you like. I can send you a link right now, bro. I'm gonna put my I'm gonna put my IG address in here, and you can just go and find me. And if you send me your address, I'll send you a link, and you can hop on. They already got the IP. They already have the Double Dragon IP. They already got it. So I didn't understand why they didn't just do it as an exclusive from their site. Just do 500 and just call it a wrap. It's just like Hubert. It's just like Hubert. I would have liked for them to do Hubert. I have never played Hubert before. So it would be let me stop lying. I played it twice, and I was little, so I don't remember it actually be like a diehard cabinet for me. But at the same time, I would have liked to have seen. I would have liked to have seen the cab come in fruition. So for that cabinet to come out, I would have loved to have seen what the retailers as well as the community would have been reacted to it. So that's my biggest thing. I would have loved to see that cab come out, but they already got Double Dragon. They got Double Dragon 2. They got Double Dragon Neon. I think that's the third, the last one. They said Double Dragon Neon was trash, but this is see 1 and 2 on a cab. Yes, I'd definitely mess with it. I would have basically moved that out and put the Double Dragon in the middle because I do love Double Dragon because I do have nostalgia for Double Dragon. So it would have been great to see that cab. It would have been great to see that cab to be because I was hyped, especially with my my mentor toy store being out in Miami and actually going into the store and actually walking past it, and he didn't realize that there was a Double Dragon right there. I actually had to text him like, "Oh, you didn't see the Double Dragon?" He's like, and he didn't even see it in his video because he was walking so fast, he bypassed it. So I would have loved to see it. I would have loved to see the Double Dragon cab come out, but I don't know if it did well at the retailers. But I would have hoped that RK1 would have did it as an exclusive, but as an exclusive cabinet. So, What else? What else is out there? Um, I would have liked to see Area 51 come out. I would love to see Area 51. I think Area 51 would have been a great cab for the masses. I think that would have been a great. I would have loved that, or Time Crisis, or Virtual Cop. I would have loved to see those cabs. Those are the cabs that I would have hoped that to see one day, but we just didn't get there. So hopefully one day we do, and hopefully we will see it in the long run. Um, all right, if y'all want to pop on, pop on. There's my link right here. Just go on IG and just hit me up. You know, if you want to come on and have a conversation with me, we can have some open dialogue. My page is open. I think sending London. We do all right. We do kind of have sending like gun games, but you have to get an act game. You would have to go and get an act games cap. Like if you really want sending games, I think waiting around for Arcade 1-Up, that is not going to happen. You can get with the gold edition IRK, but being that company went out of business, it kind of defeats the purpose. And then you can't even get on a server to get the games like Operation Wolf. So I think it's kind of pointless. So the only way you can get sending light gun games is with your at games. And I actually have one right there. So I ordered a set of sending guns to come with it. It's supposed to be in a couple weeks. I paid like $485 for mine. So even though mine is already built. Bobby, did you go to my IG page so I can send you a link? Because I gotta once you go to my page, I'm gonna send you my email address, and then I'm gonna drop the link in there. I can't drop the link. Well, matter of fact, what the hell? Here's the link right here. You can hit me up. Here's the link. So there you go, Bobby. Everybody, if you wanna I put the link in the page. Okay. All right, Manny. Well, hit me, Manny. When you be back at work, let me know, and you can come through the crib and let you see my spot. But Bobby, if you want it, there's a link right here in the page. I already sent it to you. If you want to hop on, we can talk for a little bit. Let's see. So right now, as far as the sending link games, I feel like everybody needs. There's Bobby right there. Let me hop him on. Let me add him to the stream. Man, what's going on, Bobby?
Hey man, how's it going?
What's going on? Thank you for coming on. I appreciate you. Love your room, man. One of the best rooms I've ever seen in this space, man.
Oh, thanks,
Most
man.
respect.
You were just talking double jacking, and I'm over here like.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my marquee to come. I can't wait. It's supposed to be in a couple days.
Yeah, it looks pretty nice. They do a pretty good job on the Etsy one, so.
I'm hating on you, Bobby. I'm hating on you. So, what's on your mind, man? What do you think about this home arcade community that's going on right now? Like, what do you think about the no new calves, no information, the dry summer. What is your thought on this?
I just, it just seems like you said, it's been a pretty dry summer, dry year overall, other than the Fast and the Furious cabs. And the thing that really gets me is it's not really a surprise every time they come out with a rehash or reskin of a lot of the older cabs. And I think that is unfortunately a big thing that's pushing a lot of people away is, if they're not going to release anything new and exciting like Time Crisis or something, just give you Buck Hunter and Pac-Man and all those deluxe cab versions and everything, which I do like a lot of the deluxe features, but it just sucks that I have to buy another one just to get a few extra better features.
Well, I
Um,
don't feel that everybody should have to switch out their calves. I mean, I think this is for like a new audience that's coming into play. I think
yeah.
everybody should keep their same calves unless there's additional games to it or the games list is changed.
Yeah, but
Stop.
do you really do you think that there's a lot of new audience coming in? Like, is there a big influx of people that are joining this community that you can see? Or
Well, when I be on the Facebook fan pages, the pages have grown on both sides from Glenn's and the official fan page. So when you look at it, it was like around like 30 to 40. Now it's down like around like 55, 56. So people have basically hopped in it, but I think they're buying the older cabinets. They're not
uh,
buying the new ones. They're buying the ones that we're actually getting rid of in the space. Like let's say you empty out, like you're about to sell half your room. People are buying those cabs. They're cheaper.
yeah,
Why would I spend $500 to $700 for a new deluxe cab when I can get the same cab with a riser for $200-300?
yeah, I agree. I mean, all the cabs that I'm going to sell are going to be most of the older ones. I handpicked the ones that wouldn't hurt me as much to get rid of, because everyone. It got to a point where I didn't care about collecting as much anymore. And obviously I have so many replicas of all the cabs and all the different variants and everything like that. It's just it's nice having them. I like having the nostalgia look of having the different themes. I have Joust, Mortal Kombat, Pac-Mania, Dig Dug. They're all like different versions of each other. And it's just nice having that look in the room, when you see all of these set
I
up in
see.
the way that they are. And you can't get that if unless you buy a lot of these different variants. So like, for example, when I do get rid of some of the ones like Street Fighter, I'm going to end up keeping probably this Street Fighter Turbo and getting rid of the Yoga
The
Flame.
yoga
But
flame.
some people may like Yoga Flame and instead of this. It's just personal preference, really. And same thing with the Mortal Kombat cab. If I get rid of this one, I'm still going to keep probably the deluxe one that I have out there. So I just had to pick the ones that I wouldn't be so upset about because my biggest thing is I don't want to lose the ability to play the games that are on a lot of these cabs, like Marvel Superheroes. Unfortunately, it's got Punisher on there, so I don't want to get rid of that one. And even though I have the Marvel versus Capcom 2, and I probably have the Kith one coming, which I'm still on the fence about it because they just came out with the NBA Jam reskin, and I already got NBA Jam and the OG NBA Jam, and I'm like, am I really going to buy another third NBA Jam? And I was actually on the lookout for the tournament edition from the Costco version, with the topper for a while, and I just gave up on that because I was like, I already got two. So it really just didn't make sense to get into that collecting mindset, and it wasn't sustainable. And the fact that they aren't coming out with a lot of new variant or new edition cabs like Robotron and Smash and all these other things, it's just really disappointing because they have the ability to do this, but they would rather go and give you a deluxe of something that they've released two or three times already.
I agree.
So I think it was B or somebody had said when I was on the stream that they think that I have the most Pac-Man cabs of anybody they know
How many
because I
Batman tabs do you have? I
well
think you had like seven. So
honestly I'm actually missing two still. I don't
which
have
ones?
all of them. The ones that I'm missing are the Pac-Man 8 and 1 which was a
Oh yeah, I remember
special.
that one.
It
Yeah,
was an
I remember how it
exclusive
worked.
one, and then the Pac-Man 40th, which I almost bought one, but I had to drive a ways to get it. And the one that I want to get is the special edition with the stool because I collect all the stools as well. So right now in this room, I mean, I have a Pac-Man over there. That's the Legacy Pac-Man. Um, by the way, this Star Wars Atari, or this is the OG Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I have the other 60th edition out there in the garage, but this one, I'm almost actually going to be getting my panel back from Bia. He did the Starcade mod for me on it.
Okay.
So I'm going to have access to all the racing, flying games, and everything. I got the PC and everything coming too. So that's what this cab is going to be. I'm definitely going to keep that one for sure. But if I do, and I noticed when I made a decision on the ones that I was going to get rid of, none of them included any of the 4-player cabs. I want to keep all the 4-player cabs except for one of the NBA jams because I already have one, right? But it's the 4-player cabs are just kind of, it's one of those things that I can't do like on my Legends if I want to play 4-player, if I have people over,
Oh, you don't have
it's
the quad deck?
what's that?
You don't have the quad deck?
No, I didn't get the quad deck. I have the regular one still on
Yeah, because
Legends.
I'm getting my quad deck in August.
Yeah, I mean, having the quad deck would definitely make a big difference for that. I may end up doing that eventually, but right now, I mean, I'm keeping all my racing games, all my, Tron, Dragon's Lair. I'm keeping all those. For my A1-Up pinballs, I'm probably just going to keep my Attack from Mars. I already have it modded with the encoder pack, so
Did you add an
uh,
extra fan in there to keep the PCB blue cool? Because
no,
you might want to do that.
I did decase it though. I did that when my Marvel one actually died on me, and because it overheated, so I sent it off, and that was before Arcade went up, charged you for parts, and so they sent me a new one. And then once they did that, I went in and I just decased all of them, and they've been good ever since. So
Okay.
you definitely have to decase it or put a fan or something, because if you don't, it's definitely going to go out on you. And unfortunately, these pinballs are the ones that have the PCBs that they're backordered on. So if it goes out, I mean, you may be waiting forever for a PCB, unfortunately.
Well, I have all three of them, and I didn't do the 31 hat because I wanted to add a fan to them. So if I
Yeah.
actually did it, then I would figure which one I'm going to keep. More like I'll probably keep the Marvel one because I'm more
Yeah.
fascinated with the Marvel theme of it. I see why everybody keeps the Mars Attack, but I think I
Yeah.
might get more value for the Star Wars and the Mars Attack on the open market than the Marvel.
Yeah, and actually, so they have the topper. I have the Attack from Mars topper on here. Um,
Oh, that looks nice.
I have that one, and then the Star Wars one. I was gonna get if I keep this, I'm gonna get the. There's a new topper that he's making, or he's actually selling it right now for that. The only one he has not made yet is a Marvel. I'm sure he's going to at some point, but um, also I have my coin pusher. I don't know if I told you about that, but I got that.
Nah, I only seen the one that P Dubs did. He did a unboxing and it looked cool. He said he spent like $650 for it. I
Yeah,
was,
these things are not cheap at all in general. Um,
but I remember seeing a coin pusher, but I didn't feel there was a reason for me to have one. I didn't see the purpose in it.
yeah, it's just a redemption style game. If you put quarters in it, if you have friends come over and they, it's it's not really meant for much. I mean, it would be good for kids if you put little prizes in there and like stuff like that. It's not gonna appeal to everybody for sure. I mean, it's kind of like the slot machine. I mean, it's not
What do
gonna
you
be.
think about the casino cade?
Um, I think it's definitely. I mean, it's different. I like that it's different. So I probably will get the Casino Cade for
Are you
sure. And
serious?
yeah, I'm gonna get it. It's different, and I just want to see something different from them. I mean, I don't like that the screens are so small.
But you're gonna pay. You're gonna pay the. I think it's like 600 for it for the casino
I
cade.
don't
I think
know.
that's a
Yeah,
little steep for
I may
for
wait till there's. Yeah, if it's like $100 off or more, I may get it. But I usually try to wait till there's a good sale, unless it's like a limited edition, I'm still kicking myself for buying the Killer Instinct Pro for $1,000. 'Cause
Well,
I thought it was just
I don't think you got ripped off. I
yeah,
think that Arcade One Up didn't understand the value in $1,000 cabinet.
yeah.
That should have been elite. So I'm not knocking anybody that went and got it, but I think they promoted it the wrong time with the
Yeah.
KI standard.
Don't get me wrong, it's a nice cab. It's pretty solid. I like the feeling of the joysticks compared to the other one. So it's definitely a lot better in my opinion. But for that price tag, like you said, it's I didn't need to buy it. I already had the other one. So when I do sell them, I'm gonna sell the other one before this one. Even though I could probably get more, but it's just you know. And I have out here, I don't have any of them turned on, but it's been so hot over here in South Carolina. I don't even want to come out here sometimes in the garage.
You
It's
ain't
just
got like a rolling air
it's
conditioner in that location.
unbearable. No, yeah, I don't have one. It's one of those garages that's kind of like indoor, outdoor. It has like little slits of wood. So when you are, when you can kind of see if it's daytime outside. And
Hmm.
I wanted to close it in and insulate it, but I'm probably going to end up moving within 6 months. It's not going to be worth it.
Are you moving to a location that has a basement?
I would like to. It'll either have a basement or I was thinking to get like a warehouse or like a barn and just
Okay,
doing that right next to the house because I need a lot of space. I don't have any more space. I'm completely
I noticed that.
Yeah, I'm completely full now. There's nothing else out here. I don't even have room for a pool table, which is what I wanted to put. But I'm gonna get a huge barn, and I'm probably gonna start getting some full size cabinets and pins.
I noticed that everybody in the community is doing that now. Everybody's going to get real cabinets. Why do you think there's a turn in the culture now?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things. At least for me, Arcade One Up has given me the opportunity for me to have a home arcade. And when people start getting into it more and real like learning about the arcades in general and learning about the parts and when they see the quality control. For example, I have my Road Riot 4-wheel drive right here. This was a Spy Hunter cab, and I don't know if you can see on the side.
Yeah, I see it.
It had the Spy Hunter. If you were to peel this paint off or whatever the sticker is, you would see the Spy Hunter symbol under there. So they took this and modded it into a Road Riot 4-wheel drive. If you go in the back, it still says Spy Hunter on the documentation, and they just kind of changed this is the yoke right here. They kind of changed that up a little bit, and you got the pedal down there. This cab has been through hell and back, it looks like, because when I opened it up, it had like water damage, like you could tell it was like underwater at some point. And, and this thing is still kicking. It didn't look like they've like upgraded or did anything to it. The CRT has a couple like burn-in lines, that you can tell. This thing is like unstoppable. And if you were to have Arcade One Up out there, which I actually
It-
worry about my cabinets out there from the heat and the moisture and things like that. I worry that I'm going to turn them on one day and they're just not going to come on. But guess what will come on? The Road Riot. And so people start to realize they're like, it's really not that expensive. If I instead of buying now two Arcade One Ups, you can buy a full size, reproduction of like a 60-in-1 cabinet. And that reminds me, I don't know if I showed you in the video before, but I got Robotron on my, I think it's the 18-in-1 or 13-in-1. It has like not it's the one before the 60-in-1. You know what I'm talking about? They made like three different versions. And let me see if I can turn it on for you. And I wasn't really big into Robotron, and then I started to play it, and I really started to like it. And I can see why a lot of people do enjoy that game, you know. But I have it right here. This is it's a video poker that was converted into the like 18-in-1 or whatever, and it takes real quarters and everything. You just got to go in there and flip the switch. But after it boots up, I'll show you. There's like Super Mario. There's like a bunch of other games on there.
It's
And
kind
this
of
thing,
like a play choice.
this was modded. This was, but it's modded from a solid cabinet. This thing's heavy. And I bought this for $200 from some
200.
guy. $200, and he had a bunch of like 60-in-1s, like Galaga, Pac-Man that he fixed up and made. But I mean, look, you got Defender, Bubbles, Joust, Robotron. Let's see, Rally X. I mean, some of these are arcade one-up games. Look, the original Mario Brothers, Ghosts and Goblins, Solomon's Key, Ice Climber, Super Mario Brothers. So it's got, it's about, let's see, 3, 6, 9. It's about, or actually no, it's 4 pages of 6. So 6, 12, 18, 19-in-1. So it's a 19-in-1. And I love this one. I mean, compared to all the arcade one-ups. And it's funny because, like I said, when I have people come over for game nights, I have them decide what games they want to play. I have everything turned on for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, well, when I had my pin, it was usually over there. But now that I sold it, they usually hang out in the garage and they're playing foosball, they're playing darts, they're playing shuffleboard, the skee ball, they're playing the basketball and the air hockey, all the game room stuff, And actually, they were over here playing the Infinity game table.
That I noticed a lot of people said they do like that. I would think about
Which is
buying one.
surprising. I have it out here like it's a little fire pit, and I take the cover off and they just play like Risk and all those games on there. It's a fun thing, even though it is a little gimmicky to some people, but I enjoyed it and all the people enjoyed it. So I'll end up keeping that probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love this Road Riot one. Have you ever played Road Riot before?
I have never seen that cab a day in my life.
It's like Mario Kart. You got like a 4-wheel drive car, and the buttons that you are on here, you actually shoot the people in front of you to slow them down.
It looks like something from the 80s.
Yeah, think of like Outrun time probably. So the reason why they converted it to from a Spy Hunter is because they said, back in the 80s, when they shifted from 80s to 90s games, instead of buying a whole new arcade,
they would just convert it.
They would sell a mod kit, you convert it, and you make more money. Because after a while, the kids were like, "Oh, I'm not playing those 80s games." They wanted to play the new 90s games, right? So it was just cheaper to do that. But I'm kind of sad it's still not a Spy Hunter, though, because I would prefer
maybe you can find a PCB board to go with it and just convert it back over.
You probably could, but I'm going to be playing Spy Hunter on that new Star Wars Starcade. Yeah.
Did you get the Glenn's
the control deck?
Yeah, for the Star Wars.
Oh, for the
because I actually have it. It's actually a lot more thicker. It's metal.
Yeah, I was actually considering getting the yoke, and I haven't done it yet because B said that even the original OG Star Wars stock, because I asked him, I was like, what, which one should I put it in, my OG or the 60th? And he said probably the OG because it's a little better when it comes to the sensitivity and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. He did say that some people have had some issues with Glenn's control yoke with his mod, and so I didn't do it yet. But
with the mod, I heard some chatter about that. Without the mod, that the yoke is actually really good with the original 3 games for Star Wars.
Yeah, and so but I do plan on getting the Tron stick from him.
Okay. I got that. I definitely got that
because this one feels like it's gonna go anymore.
I remember Michael B did his, and I remember he did his, and he said his stick went out. Then I saw it on Facebook. 5 or 6 people said theirs broke, so it made me run right over to Glenn and get one of his sticks really quick. I didn't want the button because you would have to format it for the cabinet. Like there was I didn't want to do the setup, so I just got the stick instead. The stick was much easier. Plug and play. That's it.
Yeah, I was gonna get a couple spinners from him for the asteroids ones because
I got my spinners.
the asteroids out there are awful. Like they grind and it's like hard to turn it.
Did you lubricate them? Did you go in there and lubricate it with UB40?
I haven't done anything yet because I didn't really play them, but I was gonna just buy the spinner because
The spinners are awesome though.
They're so bad. Yeah. You know, it's funny. A lot of the people that come over, the only arcades they actually do play in here now are my Fast and the Furious cabs, which is kind of funny.
Well, they're the newest.
Yeah, well, it's not. Yeah, they're the newest, and they're racing cabs, and you can race against each other, and that's a big draw. You know.
I was waiting for them to go on sale so I could grab 4 because I want to do a 4.
Yeah, I wanted to do a 4, but it didn't. I don't know. I don't usually have that many people over at the same time, so it wouldn't be. You know, plus the space that I had in here only allowed for 2, really. But yeah, I think.
Hey, Bobby, you got any kids?
Yeah, I got kids. They're little though. I mean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If you had like teenagers, I think they would have ran your room by now.
Oh yeah, I mean, I got so much stuff upstairs too that I mean, you know, they would most likely just be upstairs playing the PS5s and the Switches. So.
I explained that to someone that, when you look at this generation and as far as how Arcade One was trying to promote their brand, they should be promoting to the late 30s, 40s, and 50 and 6-year-olds because that's their market. Because we were the kids that were outside in the arcades. If you're trying to promote it to the teenagers and the 20-year-olds, they grew up in a house with consoles. You're basically you're defeating the purpose of what your market is, and you should be listening to the people that are buying your products. We want more 80s titles. We want those older cabs. We want the old titles.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that will basically allow us to keep buying your stuff. Yes, every once in a while you could throw a 90s cab. I would like to see Soul Calibur. That would be a great cab.
Yeah, I like
Xenomorph. I would like to see that. Games like that would be great. But I think you need to stay on the 80s nostalgia because that is the core audience in this community.
I agree. I mean, the 80s and 90s, I mean, if you start going past that, it's not going to really appeal to that many people.
No.
And the same thing if you go before that, kind of like what you were saying about the pinballs. I don't care for the older pinballs, like the EMs and stuff. I just won't play them because it has no interest to me. But I do, I'm 36, so I grew up more in the 90s pinballs time. And, like Addams Family, like that Theater of Magic I showed you, the Bally tiles, the Williams, like Attack from Mars, things like that. I had my first pinball was a Pinbot from like 1987. And that was in my house. I was only I think I was 5 years old. And my dad got me a full-size pinball. And he sold it for $500. So, but that left the last. Yeah, I mean, it was a long time ago. So people were selling them really cheap back then. Now pinball prices have gone through the roof, and it's ridiculous. I mean, even Stern's prices all went up, like a couple $1,000.
But the thing is, once you get one, how long is the warranty? And then after the warranty, you got to find somebody to be able to fix one of those things. You got to find somebody to know how to fix those mechanics. Those things ain't easy.
If you don't find them, then you got to figure it out yourself. And that's what I ended up doing with the Theater of Magic. It was just things would break. It was an old machine, and it has a lot of mechanical moving parts. It's like a car underneath there, If you don't know what you're doing, you need to look it up and figure it out because there's not a lot of people that fix those anymore. But for me, it was worth it. I mean, because, that is my cup of tea. With pinball, you're playing a different game every time. It's not the same. And so there's a huge replayability, and not just that. There's a huge, those things retain their value always. I mean, as long as they're in working order. I bought the Theater of Magic. I think it was $9,000 when I bought it, and I sold it a year later for $11,000.
That's a hell of an increase.
So I made a profit, but at the same time, I regret it because that was the only pin I had. So ever since then, I've been wanting to get a new one, but they're just so expensive. And I was like, well, I can only do like arcade win-ups a little bit at a time. And that's when I got all this. So now I have enough to where I can be like, I can get rid of 40 of them, get a pinball, and still have enough left where it's not like I'm getting rid of my whole arcade, you know. And with pinballs, it's one of those things where if you get bored of it, which eventually you will after playing it so many times, the good thing is you can trade. There's a big trading community where, like, if you were to get a couple pins, you would never have to buy another pin again. You just keep trading them in and out. And so it's nice having that, you know,
But why just get a
collateral.
V? But why just get a V pin? A V pin, you could add multiple tables.
Well,
Same.
actually, for me, I have the V pin set up on my Legends pinball already. I have all the pinball tables, you know, all the VPX virtual pinball, and everything's set up on there. So before I buy a pin, I play it on there, see if I'm gonna like it, and then I go buy the pin, you know. But I think having a full size V pin is definitely on the horizon for me as well, because the Legends is nice, but I want a full size V pin. You know those
Did you
nice
see the
big ones.
new? Did you see the new at games V pin at the 4K one? That one has, I think, it's like a 40-inch screen in that thing.
I don't. Does it have a bigger screen? I thought it was just
It's
the.
it's it's supposed to have a 40-inch screen in it. It's supposedly. We didn't see the final renders for that one, but it's they
Yeah.
claiming it has a 40-inch in it.
But I mean, how much is that going to cost though?
Well, the At Games Legends 4K was starting at 12. I think it was it's at $12.99. I think the V Pen one will be somewhere around like 15 to 1600.
So you're already getting in the price range of getting a full size V pin almost.
But you got to think about what is the capabilities of the At Games. You're adding more tables. It comes with the back box. It comes with all the bells and whistles. So you got to think you are getting more with your money. Plus, it has that 4K monitor in there. Now, you could be able to pull that monitor out if it's small and add a bigger one in it. So you don't never know what the size is. I'm just looking at what is going to be the features for it to dictate the price before I open my pockets up to it.
Yeah, because with me, I mean, I ended up just putting my monitor as my back box and using that as the DMD screen. And, you know, I was going to end up getting the deluxe thing, but I mean, I've had this one for over, you know, ever since it first came out, and I got my gaming PC down there. And, you know, it does what it wants. Like, if I want to play House of the Dead, I'll just switch over and play my shooting games on Launchbox on there. And if I want to play my VPN stuff, I'll switch over and play the VPX and stuff on there. So it's doing all the things that I want it to do. So, I mean, I may get the 4K upgrade, but I don't know if I would get, like, you know, it's more of like a test box to me, you know, like a test PC where I can test out and you know, learn about the new, you know, the VPX and how to get that all set up. It was kind of a pain getting it set up to begin with. I don't want to mess with it anymore because I'm afraid I'm going to, you know, lose all my settings and it's going to be too much of a pain to figure it out again because I did that a long time ago. But, yeah, I definitely want to get a full size like V pin. When I say full size, I mean like the same size as a real pin that has 4K and all the works. But usually those, I mean, you're looking at 3 to 5K, I think, for that kind of thing. With shakers and you know the solenoids and all that stuff. I mean, you're looking at a good hefty change, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, V-Pin's definitely the way to go to actually experience all the pins out there without spending lots of money.
I think it's like if you are a diehard pinball fan, like as I've seen a couple people houses, like the videos on YouTube, and they have like rooms and garages and basins full of it, and that's someone that's a diehard pinball fan. But for me personally, why I got in this space was to have access to the games that I grew up with. I think I love Arcade One of what they've done. iArcade. I know you don't have no toy shocks amongst you. I actually have 2 of those. Because I was looking through your collection, I didn't like that was the one thing I was kind of upset you didn't have a toy shock. But I was like, maybe
I think when did Toy Shock come out? Because it was
Toy Shock came out, I think 2019. and they came out with the Haunted House and the Black Hole. Those are the
Yeah.
two, but they had the same games list. They just had different artwork.
And when did they stop making those? Do you remember?
They stopped making it right at 2021. They still have their products out there. You can still buy them on Walmart, but they're like $700-800. They're not even worth that. If you could
See,
get
and I
it,
think that's the reason why I ended up not getting them is because I started collecting these in 2021, and around that time,
what's going on? I'm putting the link in there, so if you want to hop on and hop in this conversation with us, you can do so. Go ahead, Bobby.
oh no, I was just saying that when I started collecting, it was around 2021, and it was already at the end of Toy Shock, and that's when I got the Legends pinball and the RK1-Up pinballs, and I was like, why would I get a Toy Shock now when I got all these other ones when I first started collecting? And that's why I had to go back, and I had to find all of the older cabinets on eBay, or not eBay, Marketplace and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the Toy Shock, it was by that time I started collecting, it was already like on its way out, so that's why I didn't get it. But I had thought about getting it if it was available, I would have. But I didn't want to spend all that money now.
Well, I would tell you it is not worth anything below above 450. If you can find it from 250, 300, I think it'll be a great addition. But you have to understand there is some concessions with it. It doesn't have the 3D dimension that they claim. Maybe one of them do, like one of the boards. And then there is a relay in the flippers. So as you're like trying to hit the ball, it's a relay. So you got to kind of get used to it. So that sucks.
Yeah.
So beyond that, it has a decent game list. It's very loud. The bat box it's pretty decent for what it is, but it's like an old school bat box with the total amounts in it. It's without if you notice with At Games is more the premium product. I would say it would be At Games, RK1-Up, then Toy Shock. Toy Shock is very underneath it. Toy Shock just have a bigger screen.
Yeah, that's why I was just like, at the time, I didn't even include it in my collection list because I was like, it wasn't like getting made anymore. And, if I would have started maybe a year before that, I definitely would have got one. But
okay.
I do like this Space Ace, though, that I got from New Wave Toys.
Yeah, I was kind of upset they didn't do that for RK1-Up because I actually voted on Space Ace. I actually wanted the Space Ace one.
Really?
That's what I wanted.
I actually missed out on the Dragon's Lair one. I wanted the Dragon's Lair.
What for RK1-Up?
No. This is the I'm talking about the New Wave toy.
Oh, the New Wave. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. I got it sitting on top of my Dragon's Lair cabinet. But I wanted the Dragon's Lair to match with it, so I was like, but they already sold out, so I got the Space Ace instead, and it's awesome. I love this little thing.
Did you go on eBay to try to find it?
Yeah, it's just too expensive now. I mean, you're gonna spend $500-600 on it now.
Fuck that.
Yeah, you can buy a whole new cab. I mean, brand new cab with that.
Yeah.
But I did pre-order Zoltar, and that's coming like in a couple months.
Did you talk about the Zoltar for that company, correct?
New Wave, yeah. The little one, yeah. Oh man, hey, I considered getting a real full-size Zoltar, but those are like $10,000. I would be the only person I know who has it, but those things are nice,
I mean, if you do that and you actually did a live unboxing and got a ticket and end up like big Tom Hanks and turn into a little kid, I would not call your ass anymore after that shit. I would just like,
I'll print people's fortune now,
Hey, I would want you print my fortune if you turned into a small little kid off that.
I've actually considered getting a claw machine as well, and I actually have one.
I was thinking about that. But I don't know where to go and look. I was thinking about going on eBay to go and find one. But I know those things are heavy. They're, you got to constantly keep them filled. I've seen a few people with them in their house. Not very many people, but I would have liked to see like one of the smaller companies do one. A small claw machine.
Did you look at the candymachines.com claw machines?
Let me see.
So that's the one that I was considering looking at. I'm gonna see if I can get the link for you. But they have some pretty decently priced claw machines that aren't too expensive. Like for example, this one is $9.90. So yeah, it's still expensive, but it's a full size claw machine with a little prize thing up top. So I'm gonna put this.
On the site right now for Caving Machine, and I see they got the Pac-Man home arcade version. Let me put it up on the
There we
screen.
go. You want to look out the black spaced out mini claw machine.
Let me see. Caving Machine.
They have a couple other ones on there too, but
Okay, here we go. So here's the site. If this is the site you're talking about, correct?
yeah. So
Okay.
this one, I actually bought some of my gumball machine stuff from this website too.
Yeah. Here's
But
the gumball machine right here.
they have I think I put it in the chat. It's like a black spaced out
Claw machine.
claw machine,
There we go.
and it's under 1K, which claw machines are 1 to 2K on average, like full
Ooh.
size.
Yeah, here they go.
So you see that one? Like I think it's right down at the bottom of your screen. Oh, now it's on the top. See the black spaced out one?
Right here. So about this one.
Yeah. Yeah, it says black spaced out mini crane claw machine.
This.
Oh no, not that one. It's that one's a little bigger. That's why it's more money. But they had it's called black spaced out mini claw for $9.89. I saw it on your screen a little bit ago. I don't know where it went.
There it is. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I see it.
So this thing's cool because it has a little prize box on the top that you can like put like a prize for people to, kind of like a display thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
I see it right there on the side.
Yeah, you can have it take quarters and dollars. You can customize it with whatever you want to do. And this is just an example. I mean, on their website, but they have a lot of really interesting things that you can do to these things. And it's like I said, it's really not that bad for what you're looking at here because normally claw machines are a few $1,000s.
Hold on a second, Bobby. Ichabod
Yep.
Crane, I understand. Just hit me up at another time. I'm probably gonna have another podcast tomorrow with the topic that I was supposed to do tonight. So I understand. Have a great night, and hopefully I see you another day. All right, go ahead, Bobby. Continue, man. Bobby. Yeah. What the fuck? I lost Bobby, and hopefully Bobby will come back on. Here he goes. Okay, here we go. Hey, Bobby, add the screen.
Sorry, I got out of there.
Nah, that's cool.
So
He's Ichabod Crane said he wanted to buy a coin pusher. Well, Bobby has one. If you go back into the video, he actually he got it on the screen right now. He basically has. Okay, thank you, Bobby, for that for the link for it. But yeah, he actually has one. He actually has a coin pusher. Ichabod Crane. He said he likes it. People come over and play it at the crib. Me personally, I just don't have any nostalgia towards one. I see a lot of old people making money off of them. So I do. Like one lady, she had there was like a couple hundred in there rolled up with a bunch of quarters around it. She pretty much paid her rent off that. She was trying to mess with that thing for like 20 minutes, trying to get that rolled and pop drop.
it's funny. My buddy actually gave me a thing to create the coin towers in an easier way. You see that coin tower right there?
Yeah, I see that.
I built
I
that.
thought you said they made that.
Yeah, I built it with his little. He has a little kit that he's like going to be selling, and he sent me a couple like prototypes, and it's just like a little like spinny thing that you like line up the coins and you just kind of turn them as you go, and you put them in these like tubes to just build them up, and it works pretty good. Yeah, I can see, you have your friends come over and say, "Hey, man, bring your own quarters," and throw like a $10 bill or something in there, and have people go for it. It gets a little bit more fun. And the same thing with the the slot machine, my slot takes quarters too. You just modify it and it's good to go. So
Well, the thing is, in the part of Texas I'm at, a lot of them are alcoholics here. So I think they'll be too drunk to put it in quarters. They be
yeah,
trying to like
that's why I got
try to
my
figure
alcohol fridge right here, ready. Ready right next to it. So
it. So let me ask you this, like it's hard. Do you see do you notice that all the old content creators are all bouncing out of the community now? Like they're all walking out of here. I see there's very few new ones in it. Do you think if Arcade One Up does have an explosion next year, do you think those old content creators will jump back into the market?
I don't think they'll. I think they'll still do content on it, but I don't think they will be primarily focused as much as they used to be. Because like it was all the hype, always having new cabs, left and right, and there was just so much content that could be made. And I think they got to a point where it's like, hey, I'm not making any content. Like I need to do something else, and so they're like, whoa, look at this, it's a new pinball, or look at this, it's a new Asus ROG Ally, like new technology, new things. A lot of these guys weren't originally home arcade content creators. They were
Well,
like,
Peter, well, Michael B wasn't. Michael B was actually doing He was doing NES a lot.
yeah, they
His
were doing
primary
like
channel was
games
that.
and things like that. And now, it's most of the people got into it through Arcade Went Up, and then just kind of evolved a little bit, and I'm the same way. I mean, I always wanted a pinball, but I mean, look at how much they cost. I couldn't. I could have probably, if I would have just saved my money instead of buy cabs here and there, I could have got a pinball eventually. But I wanted the arcade set up like now. I wanted it all now, so I was just trying to find good deals and $100, $150. Here a lot of the older cabs, and
Well,
I
let me
got.
ask.
Mhm.
Well, let me ask you this: in case somebody came to you and said, "I'll buy all your cash for one pinball machine," would you give all your arcade one-ohs away for one?
No, I don't think there's any pinball machine that's worth all the arcade one ups. Now, it depends on which ones too. Like for example, my Burger Time, I could sell that for 850, no problem. It's got the certificate, it's got the stool, it's got the upgraded marquee from Retro 530. I mean, it's got everything in good condition. I could probably sell this for 850, and but one of these other ones, it depends on the ones. Like you'll see people selling them on marketplace, like Dig Dug and Joust or whatever. Some of these newer legacy cabs, I would say, for 400, and then you have all the people, and they're like, "Oh, I can get it new for 300 right now," and that's because they have a sale going or something like that. So it just depends on when you sell them. For all the older cabs that you can't buy anymore, some are worth more than others.
I
So
noticed that the old Pac-Man, the first wave, you don't see those
yeah,
anymore. Like
yeah. I mean, for example, the I have the three asteroid cabs, right? You got the
that
foreign.
I never bought.
Oh,
Didn't
you
care
did?
for it. I hated. I hated. I hated asteroids when I was a kid. I remember playing it on the 2600. I hated that fucking game.
Well, it's funny because I play the other games on here when I
I
want to play.
have that one. I have the 12 and one. I definitely
Yeah,
have
the
the 12.
12 and one. So this
Yes,
one, and then you have the original one, and then you have the deluxe. Now the deluxe one,
it's hard
that
to find now.
it's hard to find this one, right?
Yeah, it
This is
is.
actually look. I mean, this is the one that has the stiffest spinner.
Hmm.
It is like so hard just to turn this thing. But I picked this up for I think 250 or 300, and I got the stool. And this thing's hard to
Well,
find because this is the one that was already built in the box.
well, let me
Remember?
ask you this: you talking about that little black stool that came with it?
Oh no, the black stool that came with it, they didn't have it with it, so I bought the
Yeah, that is
asteroid.
actually a collector's item right now.
Oh,
If
I
you can,
know because the black stool. I mean, it's a cheap little stool thing, but it came with it in the box, already. Because I think this is the one that had it was already pre-assembled, right, in the box.
yes.
This is the only one. Well, one of the only ones. There was another one they did that with, I believe.
Well, Ichabod Crane just asked us both a question. He said, "Do you guys have NBA jams?" I have the OG Wave 3. Bobby actually have a few of them.
Yeah, I got Shaq here, and I got the OG in the other one in the other
Okay,
room.
so you have 3 or 2?
I have 2. I didn't buy the original Terminate edition, and I didn't buy the new one yet because I
Okay.
didn't see the point of getting a third one.
Okay.
But yeah, I have the other one right here. I do like the bigger screen of the other one. It just sucks that the screen is so,
You didn't
like
do the mod to take the replace the screen. Now 90K has a mod on that one.
yeah. I do like the big golden tee as well. It's just the see, this one's not too bad for me because the screen, even though it's not as good with golden tee, you're only playing one player right in front of it,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's not really. I don't notice it, so I didn't really. It doesn't bother me having the bad screen on this one. It's not. It's not too terrible. I think actually there's a sale going on for golden tee right now for like $200. The 3D.
I actually not here in this part of Texas. I haven't seen it. Like when I went to Best Buy, they still had it at $5.99. Like it depends where you're at in the state, like where you're at, depending on where you're at.
Oh, is
Because
that
I
what it
know
is?
when I go to Dallas or Austin or Houston, they're also at full price.
Yeah, and there was a sale today. I think somebody was talking about it earlier, but
I didn't really feel the pong table, and then being that they didn't put the plexiglass over it, the overlay. I
yeah,
think that would kind of like made me kind of deter from that. I think the games list is pretty cool though. Don't get me wrong, but I just never had a
yeah,
fascination for Pong.
yeah. I only play mostly Warlords on this one. Um, Warlords is fun, but with other people. When I have people over and they play Warlords, they really like it because it's a really fast paced, game.
But I think
Uh,
the screen should have been bigger though. It should have been
yeah,
much bigger.
yeah. The screen it's pretty sad, and I wouldn't start putting drinks on this thing at all.
That's what I'm saying. The overlay would have made it perfect for that.
Yeah, because it's even though they have the little screw cap things or whatever. I mean, or no, I may have bought those actually. Um, I always forget a lot of the mods that I do to these things. Like for example, my Attack from Mars pinball, I changed out the glass because it had that warp rainbow effect. The other two didn't do it, so I didn't have to change those out. But that was a
I
new one.
actually I actually have the glass for all 3 of them. I did change it out
Oh, you
because
did?
I felt
Yeah.
like it had a cleaner
It
look to
definitely
it.
has a much better look to it. I agree. The guy that I bought the glass from, he raised his prices too much. And I was like, I don't need it. But I definitely needed it for the Marvel, because, or not the Marvel, the Attack from Mars, because it was so bad. Like, it was so noticeable, the rainbow. I did get my seat covers finally from my Frogger cabinet,
Yeah, huh?
and I got the my Miss Pac-Man stools that I ordered from Bandai finally,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got my Golden Axe stool from Etsy as well. The stool cover. So I'm pretty good on. I have all the stools now, pretty much for all the ones that I have. But yeah, like I said, it's gotten to a point where the collection has kind of dwindled down. It's been a quiet year in general, and the releases that they had now with the NBA Jam Deluxe, the Big Buck Hunter. I mean, these don't really appeal to me now because I already got both of them. Time Crisis, I would buy. It's a new one, you know.
I think everybody wants Time Crisis. I think that's the one that is on everybody's hit list. But I
Yeah.
think Daytona is due right now. I think if you
Oh
really
man,
want to
yeah.
bring back everybody, I think Daytona will definitely be one of the major ones that I was looking at on my list going forward because
Yeah,
I know
Daytona would be awesome.
Daytona would be one. I know House of the Dead will be another. Star Wars trilogy would be another. Kubrick
Yeah.
would be another. Robotron would be another. Afterburner would be a good one to throw out there. I think Afterburner would be a day one buy for a lot of people. Especially if
Yeah,
you had a
actually,
good flight stick with it. Yes, I think that'd be a day one buy.
yeah, there was a guy that I bought. Actually, the guy that I bought the Road Ride from, he had an afterburner in his garage, a full size, like self moving one.
Oh wow.
Like the really nice one, and he was thinking about selling it. And I don't know if he ever did, but it was really nice. It must have sold for at least $5,000. But yeah, he had all of his arcades were full size in his garage, and he would rotate them out. But yeah, I don't know when I'm going to pull the trigger on it. It's kind of hard because I put a lot of work into a lot of these things and a lot of mods on here and there, and just the thought of selling them is kind of bugging me, because I had sold some in the past. I sold a Ninja Turtle when I bought the new Turtles, and I sold a Golden Tee when I bought the new Golden Tee, and I ended up getting them back because when I was collecting, I was like, dang, I wish I didn't sell these. And I found them on Marketplace for cheap, and I got them back. But especially with the Turtles, like I like the old look of the Turtles. I don't really like the new purple, and but it
I
has
think if they do
online.
an Excel for the old for the Wave 3 one, I would actually sell my OG turtles for the new XL, especially if it's online. But it
Yeah.
would be great if they could add Shredder's Revenge to it to make that a dominant cat.
Oh
That
yeah.
would be an awesome cat. That would have to be a
That,
must-have cat for everybody.
that would
I don't
be
know.
a definite upgrade. Because think about it, like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, same cabinet as Marvel vs. Capcom, but they put 2 on there, and you have to upgrade. I mean, if you want to play 2, obviously you can't play anywhere else.
That's
And
true.
now they got the Kith cab, and now if you want to pay $1,000 for that one.
I'm
Uh,
not doing that.
so
That's
I was going back to like the V-pin conversation. Have you ever considered getting a racing cab that plays all the racing games? Like,
I would, but all racing games don't play the same. And I'm a pure racer. I think out of any genre, I am a racer. But not
yeah,
all racing games play the same. And then you would have to have the driving steering wheel to have all the mechanics in it. So I think if you're talking about something that it is like something like 19K Fox that you had a 32-inch screen and you're kind of sitting back and you're
yeah,
basically going through the motions, something like that I would buy. If because I know At Games was trying to demo one out, but it
yeah. I
wound up being
remember that one.
garbage. It wound up being
Never,
garbage.
it never
But
went out anywhere.
yeah, but
Yeah,
if someone made something like that and it had and I could basically coin ops all of them in there, yes, I would buy something like that. That would be a no brainer to me. It would be a no
yeah.
brainer.
Because you would have Daytona, you would have all the racing cabs that you want to have on there. And because like for me, I have when I get the B Kong modded one, that this is gonna satisfy a lot of the flying games that I've been wanting. I know it's got racing games, but it doesn't have a pedal. It's not the same. You want to sit down and race. It's kind of like a driving simulator. You don't want to stand up and play a driving simulator. So
And
yeah,
I
it's
would, I,
definitely
and the thing is, if there was a kit where you can actually rotate and kind of move and shift and felt the tumbles and all and the vibrations,
yeah.
just name your price with me. I would pull out my Discover Black, swipe one good time, and make the
Yeah.
payments over a
Well,
good
you
amount of
you,
time.
you see how much the driving emulators like cost, like the
Yeah,
nice ones. The rigs are so expensive. I mean, starting at 10K, I think. And but there's a reason for it because you feel like you're in there driving because it's moving and you know.
I
But
seen I seen one guy he had like 45-inch TVs, had one in the front and had two on the side, and he looked like
yeah,
he was in an actual semi. The way he built it, it was awesome. I was just drooling with envy, like like for real. This is what we doing right now. This is how we stepping up the game. I put in
yeah,
his comment. I hate you. Period. And it's like I just laughed. I put a smiley face in it, but I said I hate you.
yeah. Those things are pretty nice. I definitely would like to get just a driving like just playing some of the racing games like in a sit down chair, relaxing and but you would need like a dedicated space, kind of like a gaming computer. You would need that whole wall just for that setup, and
That's true.
so eventually I may get something kind of like the V pin thing, but all in time. It
I
takes.
think if one company came out with something like a driving simulator, a gun of a sending gun simulator, a
Yeah.
fighting game, and an 80s, I think a lot of people would invest and get rid of all the arcade one-ups, everything in their room, just for all four of them. Because it does everything you need. You have four different machines that do four different things. You don't
Yep.
have to collapse it and then worry about control, like mapping controls. Everything is already mapped based on the genre of things you need. Because you can put all your fighting games with your strollers in one CAD. You can put all
Yeah.
your speed gun games in one. You can put your drivers in another. And then you have your V pin in another. You have all of it. So you wouldn't have to do anything more than that. I mean, unless you're chasing nostalgia and you just want the look of the like an arcade, I think that would be the best thing possible right there on the spot.
I think for me, honestly, the having all the arcade one-ups definitely helped the nostalgia look. But I noticed that when the people do play in my
Hey,
arcade,
Constorm. No,
they
it's Constorm in the chat. Constorm, if you want to hop on, I got my link. You can hop on as well. Hop in this stream. Go ahead, Bobby.
So when I had people like playing in the arcades and the ones that they do play, I actually had a few like parties with the neighborhood. They come over, and guess which ones they did not play? They didn't play my Legends Ultimate, and they didn't play my Legends Pinball because they didn't know how to navigate it. They didn't know how to if I didn't have a game on the screen, they didn't know how to do it, right? So they would just go to the one that they remember. I had some older guy that was like, "Hey, where's all your '70s Atari games?" I said, "Hey, there's a Tempest Cab right down there," and he went down and he was playing all these old games, before my time, and that's what it was. It really appeals to people who they're not going to want to get on a Legends Ultimate like we know how to with CoinOps X and navigate all the different filters of different games. I got thousands of games on there, but they don't know how to get to it because it's hard for them. So I think for me, having that setup where you have one for arcades, one for guns, one for bins, that's perfect for us. But I still feel like you need to have something for like the regular people.
And forget the regular people. They don't even be at the house that often.
And yeah, that's what I ultimately realized. That's why, forget it. I'm going to sell them. Nobody comes over anyways, right?
Thank you.
So,
because unless you have because I noticed like some people, like one guy, he was out in Houston, and because I was with one of my friends and we went to his house, he had like 30 arcade one-ups, and we was all playing it. And I noticed, like, I'm sitting there, we having a conversation, and he had an At Games and an At Games Legend. I said, how often do people come over and play? He's like, no one. He said, no one knows how to move through it. But when I told him that I knew how to run the coin ops, he was like, for real? I'm like, hey, do you have a quadru deck on there? Let's go and play some Turtles right now, X-Men, whatever. Let's go and hop on it. Why everybody? Constorm is about to hop in the chat right now, so I'm waiting for him.
Hello.
What's going on, Constorm? How's everything?
Well, it's been fairly busy. I've just been finalizing the art for my sports station project. But other than that, just researching for the next week of Game Time news. A lot of stuff because of Comic-Con, but for the most part, Arcade 1-Up's odd process is, well, really just been kind of there. I'm pretty much indifferent right now, but it really could be worse. Oh, and okay, there we go. Other than that, well, beyond what Comic-Con is looking like, I really think that as far as the deluxe stuff that they've announced so far, I think we're almost about done. There should at least be 2 more reveals that are expected to happen before the end of the summer. One of them is probably going to be Missile Command, and the other is going to be some variant on Street Fighter 2. After that, it's really hard to tell.
So you don't think they're gonna bring out Street Fighter Alpha or Street Fighter 3?
I really couldn't say at the moment for sure.
Because
If
I
they
mean,
do,
there's nothing
it's
else
probably going to
left.
be. If they
There's
do,
nothing
it's
left
probably
on
going to be
Street Fighter
handled
2.
in the same vein as Marvel vs. Capcom 2, where Street Fighter Alpha will be the only new game on the game list, and everything else will basically just be some kind of Street Fighter Legacy Edition with very few other titles outside of the main fighting set. If you catch my drift, it's kind of weird,
So,
hard to
but
explain.
if that's the case, I don't see Arcade One Up lasting very long based on this kind of like if you only bring out one legacy and bringing out Street Fighter, I don't see a midway legacy coming out at all. They don't have nothing to complement the Time Crisis that supposed to be debut in November because that's when they're probably going to drop it.
Oh, in a way, you could say that Big Buck Hunter is the complement to Time Crisis. It's just coming out so many months earlier. But truth be told,
everybody got Big Buck Hunter. No one cares for that one.
Actually, I can kind of see why Arcade 1-Up did it. Big Buck Hunter has been out of actual production since 2019, and it's taken so long to sell out of that riser stock on some retailers that they may have just decided, okay, we have these many PCBs left, so we're just going to do this quickie redesign, probably something that only took 3 or 4 weeks tops, and then announce it. Only for them to announce it in the one place that got them in a lot of trouble back in 2021 when Randy's Records basically was the resulting leak that led to us getting the early reveals of Tron and other cabinets. And that's how I found out that they were even putting that through development besides the catalog leak, if you remember that.
I do.
We desperately need one more of those. That would be amazing.
But my thing is, like, are they going to continue this all the way into next year? They're going to rewind the clock back and open the vault and basically capitalize on all the titles for the first 3 years of Arcade One Up because no one's going to stick around. I mean, they're losing all their diehard fans. Everybody's disappearing.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's a very real possibility that that's going to happen. After all, the new IP that they've put out at Marvel vs. Capcom, NFL Blitz, Terminator 2, stuff like that, these newer IP, they aren't selling as well as Arcade 1-Up is hoping for. Then again, this is largely because they're doing these baffling choices of where they're selling them. By locking their deluxe line to Best Buy, they pretty much destroyed the momentum that could have had to sell. I would have absolutely picked up Mortal Kombat and Pac-Man for the arcade room if they had sold on HSN. Only way I would have got them. Otherwise, my plans right now are calling for a different type of arcade Pac-Man release, and that's going to be the Pixel Bash. It's going to take a while to save up $3,000 for that, though.
See, this is why everybody's leaving.
Yeah.
Arcade One Up is dead. Arcade One Up is dead. By next year, some of them are going to be dead.
I wouldn't say they're completely dead. Honestly, there are some products like the Projectorcade. Not to say the projector itself was good, but the idea was actually pretty decent. If all they really needed to do was actually handle it like they handled the Couchcade, where you have the pedestal, but just keep everything integrated into the control panel instead, and have nothing, and only just have the HDMI cord going into the TV. And I think that would work better because it's more stable. Like maybe a Couchcade revision 2.
Great about that Couchcade. No.
Well, honestly, I did like the idea. It was just they really should have started with something like Golden Tee or NBA Jam. Either of those would have made sense. After all, those are team-heavy games, and a bigger screen benefited both of them, if you recall.
I mean, where's the other sports titles? I mean, Blitz will wind up selling. NBA Jams is going to continue to sell because they're sports. But where's Open Ice at? Like
Open Ice, unfortunately, is in a bad spot in terms of what they can realistically include. In my entire research of the game, that's the only game that's really come of it, aside from console releases that really don't have a place on the same chipset, unless Arcade One-Up's chipset can somehow emulate GameCube-era titles, which I highly doubt.
No, they don't. No.
Otherwise, there is one game that I just discovered last night that could have easily been on the NBA Jam PCB this year, but I think Arcade One just flat out didn't know about it.
And
It is called NBA Jam Maximum Hang Time. Apparently, it's a continuation of Hang Time, and from what I've seen of the gameplay, it looks like it would have been perfect for it. Like, did everybody just forget this was even a thing?
No. Everyone knew. Everybody was saying that when they redid the deluxe one. Why they didn't add one more game to it? There were other games. They just didn't do it. So they
honestly,
put the same 3 games out.
They probably could have had maximum hang time as far back as the Shaq edition. Absolutely, that would have been perfect for that. Would have at least.
Or they could have redid NBA Jam and added Michael Jordan to it. That would have been great.
Well, there is a ROM hack out there that does bring Michael Jordan into the game, but for the life of me, I can't find it.
Not on the Arcade 1-Up.
Yeah, not on Arcade 1-Up, but if you know the right people, it's only a matter of time. And if Barry Sneaky would come back, that would be even more fantastic. Could you imagine if that guy got his hands on a Gen 3 PCB and merged NFL Blitz and Jam together?
Oh, that would
have been boom.
That would be awesome.
Frankly, that'd be a lot better than my approach, because what I'm planning to do with my sports station is I want to bring the PCB and the controls under one panel. So that way, this frees up the screen, which is going to be using an LVDS to HDMI converter. Okay. Now, of course, this is all theoretical, and there's nothing physical yet. I'm hoping to start that process next week.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you coming on, Constorm, and hitting us up with that info. I mean, I know it's late. I don't know what time zone you're in, but I know it's late where you're at. But I do appreciate you coming on.
It's only 11. I can stay on for a bit longer.
Okay, cool. Constorm, Bobby's Arcade. He's one of these. He's been on for a little while. Got some good content. He got a good game room. You should check it out, man.
I can't say I'm familiar with him off the top of my head. Yeah. Then again, I've been rather busy lately.
Go and check out his room. His room is awesome. I'm not gonna lie. He has one of the best rooms I've seen. His room tour is great. I do have a question for both of y'all. So you don't think they will be able to, because I know a lot of the community's been asking for Qbert. Qbert has been on their plate since Wave 4. You don't think it will actually ever come in existence, because they had this title and they've
had it since 2018. Yes.
I think they're probably trying to figure out what other games they can put on a Qbert CAD.
That's actually an easy answer. They can easily do Qbert's cubes and faster, harder, more challenging Qberts. And I believe Replicate has already, done that. So it's not like it can't be done. It's just that they really have 2 approaches they can take to Qbert. On one hand, it's just those 3 games. That'd be fine, but hard to justify $600 over. On the other hand, they could do a more expanded game list with a much more messy control panel to add something along the lines of Mad Planets, or maybe one of those other weird oddballs. I can't remember the game list off the top of my head. But there's those 2 approaches.
Okay. Another question, like the Konami legacy I was talking about earlier. Let me throw the picture up for y'all so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Because I want to get your opinion about the games list I put on.
Pretty. So this guy's pretty new then. Cool. Okay, Marvel versus.
So this games list right here, I have for my Konami legacy. I got Violent Storm. I got Mystic Warriors, Rush Attack, Monster Maulers, Life Force, Vendetta, Running Gun 2, Sunset Rider main event. So this will be my Konami legacy. What you think about this? That Arcade 1-Up could probably pull off.
Well, judging by the fact that this appears to be a 4-player heavy list, more than likely, I could see this working, but the biggest issue with it is none of the names really come to mind in the retail space, and unfortunately, that's Arcade One X Crux. The more they stay in the retail space, the more they speed up the end of their life. If they could just move to direct to consumer, they'd have a better shot at actually getting these more obscure titles released. But frankly, I do like your game list. It seems very interesting.
Okay.
Honestly it's a bit more complete than mine. All I had was Violent Storm, Metamorphic Force, Sunset Riders, Vendetta, and there was like another one on there. I can't remember which one it is off the top of my head. But yeah, I can see where you're coming from with this game list.
What about you, Bobby? Would you buy this cab if Arcade want to put it out at
Oh
600?
yeah, yeah, probably. I mean, it's definitely a lot better than what they've been offering with the rehashes and stuff. So
Because I feel like this, I think you can basically have the main event since it has the WWF kind of flavor to it. And Sunset
yeah,
Riders, you could probably promote them as your main game cast because Running Gun 2 is a really good game, but I don't think it has a lot of motivation as far as towards the retailers. I know a lot of people know Vendetta, but the fact is my game list has a lot of variety, so it's not really sitting on one kind of stroller. It has a lot of fighting games. It has a lot of strollers. It has a lot of activity in it. So and it has two sports games. So I think it gives a lot of a lot of flavor to the audience. And then the fact is, you have a lot of content coming from this. So I think this will be a really good cabin. I think people will definitely enjoy this. But I just don't see Arcade One pulling it off because they said they have all the games and they have never put out a Konami Legacy cap yet.
yeah. I mean, like you were
Unless they,
saying, they need a front runner, I think, to to appeal to the masses. Like, if you notice a lot of the games that they have released, just looking around my arcade, I mean, these are every name that's on these marquee is pretty, well known, I would say. So to them, if it's not something that they see as would sell well because it's not as well known on like what could be their front runner game kind of thing,
Yeah.
then they may not even appeal to them until they find something to throw on there that would be appealing to people that would know what game that they're talking about.
well,
There's actually a
well,
mod
do it like
quest.
this. Why not sell 500 calves directly from the company? I think you'll get 500 buyers
Yeah,
Hmm.
I mean,
as
I
an
don't know if they're in the
exclusive.
business of doing that though. I
I
mean,
mean, Constorm, do you think that Arcade One could do this as an exclusive with 500 calves and sell out right there on the spot?
Well, it does. It certainly has an audience. Obviously, which one would be the marquee game? Is it going to be
I
Sunset
would say
Riders
Sunset. I
or
think
Running
Sunset
Gun?
Riders will be your marquee. I think
Yeah,
Sunset Riders will be the marquee
I think it
coming
could.
out.
I think it could, in theory, work. Honestly, it really depends on the approach. If this is going to be a deluxe, then yeah, Arcade One Up is going to be a little finicky about the whole thing. But I'm sure they could probably make it work in that regard. But if they're just going to move from deluxe to XL, then with any luck, they might be able to make that work out.
Okay.
Honestly, if they just do need to kind of start moving away from this smaller form factor altogether because
yeah,
it's just ran its
Well,
course.
but you have people like me that is all about value of space. Not a
Uh,
lot of people can put XLs in their house. Like me, I probably could put like maybe two or three XLs. But if you go from like start at XLs and this is all you're gonna put out there, that's the biggest thing why a lot of the 4-player cabs didn't sell because the space is the issue. So I
yeah,
think you still have to stay in that deluxe form factor, especially with you're thinking about space. I think you could do both and basically promote both cabs at the same time because it'll give you a variety of choices
yeah,
at that. That will be great if you do put that with a party K, a deluxe, and an XL. I think you'll win because now you have three form factors that can do what all three of them can do. You can basically have
hmm
a 1-player party K, you have a 4-player deluxe, and you have a much bigger 19-inch with that XL form factor. I think you could win with that, especially if the price is reasonable and it's not well out of pocket. I think you can get everybody to buy this cab coming out the gate.
Do you have any XLs yourself?
I do. I actually have the Golden T XL. I have the Golden T one. That's the only
So
one.
you know what's interesting when you look at the XLs, like for example the shack that I have out here, it looks like obviously it looks bigger when you look at it, but in reality it's just taller.
Yeah.
Um,
The
and,
4-player panel doesn't really improve it much. I
No, it
think
doesn't.
the thing that really got to me is because I like to get the little stickers that you put around, like the X-Men and
yeah,
NBA
those
Jam
are
and
cool.
stuff. So when I bought the sticker for this one, I asked the question. I said, "Hey, do you have the size for the XL?" And they're like, "Oh, it's the same size." I was like, "No, it's not. It's an XL." And I looked; it is exactly the same dimensions all the way around it. The only
Well, that's
difference,
comforting.
yeah, the only difference is it's just a little bit like inward, where it's at over here. It just looks a little bigger. It appears bigger, but it's really not. It's the same exact dimensions here. It's almost just about the same size and like width apart from each other. So it's really not taking up any more space. The only thing is, obviously, the screen's a little bigger and it's taller, but that's all the
And the
XL is.
marquee is huge compared to your standard quarter
Yeah, it
scale, even the
is.
Golden Tee for that matter.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just when you look at it, it definitely has the perception that it's bigger when it really isn't. Like you said, the marquee being so giant makes it look big, so, and the same thing with the Golden Tee in here. It doesn't take much space at all. It does stick out a little bit more, but it doesn't take up as much room as my Turtles. The 4-player, obviously. Because if you look at the stool size, it's pretty much the same, maybe just a little bit wider than the other cabs.
Yeah.
So, but it feels bigger. Now with this one, obviously the marquee is, I don't know, it maybe a little bit bigger or wider, I would say. But it's the bigger screen that makes it feel a lot bigger.
Yeah, certainly makes it feel a lot more complete compared to some of them. Though
Yeah.
the fact that they still have the 2019 quarter scale out and about is kind of hilarious to think about to me. Like, they're willing to keep stuff like that on active service for this long, and yet, for whatever reason, we only just now got this XL like last year.
Yeah. Yeah, you can still get the Golden Tee Classic on some websites for what is it, $500 or something?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because here at Fort Bliss, I went into the main PX. They had 40 of them for I think it was like $4.99, and they're all just sitting there. They're not moving. They're not putting them on sale. They're just sitting there. They will
That's
price.
the problem. That's why they're not selling. Is you can't get away with charging $500 for a cabinet that old. Like, you'd be lucky to get $300 for a 2018 or a 2019 release at this point, because of various issues relating to controls, screen height, or just general wear across the board. Because even in the box, sometimes these components are going to wear down. After all, jostling them around, and no matter how inactive they are, will eventually just take its toll by just passive aging, I guess. And
That's a good question. Like how long do you think these Arcade One Up caps is going to last? Because if they're just sitting in the box, shouldn't they still be operational like they are day one products?
It all largely depends on the storage. For example, I shit you not, this happened yesterday. I found a completely wrapped, still complete Xbox One game just sitting on my lawn. No idea where it came from. I didn't try to test it, but the only thing that was really worn on it was the outside. Like, it was like the cover was sun bleached, but it seems like everything inside was probably still okay. I'll have to speak to my neighbor because he has it right now and get back to you about the condition of the game itself. But it's just really funny. I really just wanted to bring that up as an example of sometimes it all just depends on environment and also maintaining the machines themselves, and regardless of if they're in the box or not, because you never know. Sometimes they might fall over or something.
Remember that question we had earlier about how many Pac-Mans I had?
Yes.
I got 6 Pac-Mans.
Jeez.
Okay, so I got one under you. I have 5. I have,
Yeah,
I have 5. I have the OG Pac-Man. I have the 40th, and I got Pac-Mania, and then I got Miss Pac-Man, and I got Miss Pac-Man 40th anniversary. But I got the Walmart version without the rosin and the marquee, so I had to kind of add it.
Oh,
So
you're counting you're counting the Miss Pac-Mans too?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't count my Miss Pac-Mans. That's just Pac-Man.
So you got 3 of them. So you got 3
All
Miss
right,
Pac-Man.
so I'm gonna count now. Let's see. We got the Legacy Pac-Man over there.
Okay.
I'm not gonna count the Baby Kate Pac-Man.
No, we're
He's
not
hiding
counting that.
down there. And then we have our Miss Pac-Man Class of '81 original here.
Okay.
Let me see. Let's go to the other room. Let's see.
You see this console? This is the.
Oh yeah, I'm
Dixie
seeing it. I saw the video, but it was way too dark.
Yeah, it's kind of dark with some of the lighting. We got Pac-Mania right here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's 3.
How many screen mods have you done?
Miss Pac-Man there. I'm trying to think. I don't. There's been a couple that I had to change just because they failed. For example, the Super Pac-Man was dead on arrival.
Oh
Oh,
man,
And
see what I mean? Sometimes the screens will just kind of crap out over time, and like that.
yeah, the Super Pac-Man. I ended up buying on eBay. It was $400, and I couldn't find it anywhere else, so I bought it there.
Fair
It was
enough.
still sealed. Everything was sealed, still good, and everything. I took it out. The PCB and the screen were bad.
So did you
Wow.
go one up to try to get a new one, get a new parts?
I did, and at the time when I got it, they were starting to charge, so I had to pay for the replacements. But you know what's crazy? They sent me, so that came with a BOE originally, and they sent me the BOE, and it didn't work. And I was like, "What the hell is going on here?" So and then they sent me the PCB, and it still didn't work. And I'm like, "Okay, what's going on?" Well, actually, I take that back. They sent me the PCB first because it was just flashing the colors. And I was like, hey, I think the PCB is bad. So they sent me that. And then as I turned it on with the new PCB, I could hear it, but then I couldn't see it. Originally, I couldn't hear it at all. It was completely dead. So I got sound, but I still didn't have video. And I had an extra BOE monitor in my closet, and I tested it with it, and it still didn't work. I'm like, what is going on here? So they sent me a non-BOE monitor, and it worked.
Oh,
They
shit.
sent you a TN monitor and it ran?
They sent me a
Yes.
TN, and it actually worked. For some reason, I don't know why the BOEs wouldn't work on it, but the TN worked perfectly out of the box. So,
Wow.
Huh.
unfortunately, yeah. So let's see. We got Pac-Mania in here.
That's
We
3.
have Miss Pac-Man over
4.
here.
That's the black 40th anniversary, correct?
No, this well, is
That's
it
the black.
40th? Yeah, this
that's
is the
40th.
black one, and then I
Yeah.
got the custom stool from Bandai as well, the swivel,
Sweet.
because
That's
it matches.
awesome.
They don't sell Miss Pac-Man stools from Arcade One Up, so you have to buy your own. And let's see, let's go.
It's 4.
What are we at? 4 now?
Yes, we're 4.
This must be fun on your power bill.
Actually, it does. You know, it's funny. This doesn't do anything to it. The
5
thing that
is super
the thing that really kills my power bill is this guy right here, this air hockey table.
Are you
That's
serious?
understandable.
Whenever I turn that thing on, I can see the power go, boom.
Like, well, no, I used to have an air hockey table in my arcade room, but I had to just pull it because it just didn't have just didn't work in terms of walking around it really jostly.
Yep. There's that
I'm
Super
actually
Pac-Man.
looking for I'm looking for
So many
MK2.
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man Plus.
6.
Let's come over here. It's a little dark. This is the other Miss Pac-Man. I don't know if you can see it, but this one is also a custom stool from Bandai. And then, oh wait, here's the OG original Pac-Man.
7.
Is it 7? Oh wait, hold on. Miss Pac-Man. This is the 40. Is it the 40th
Right.
anniversary? Yeah, this
No,
is the
that's the
brown one.
regular one.
That's the launch version from
Yeah, that's the
2019.
first one.
This is the brown one. Yeah. Oh wait, I got more over here. These are the deluxes.
You should really turn on your light or something, dude.
Yeah, it's Hold on. It's unfortunate. Like my lighting in the garage here,
It's kind of finicky.
it is finicky. Actually, it only comes with one light over there, so I'm trying to
Serious?
get more
Let me get
lighting.
some
But when all the
lamps.
arcades are on,
Get
it
some
gets light
lamps.
up in here. So
Okay.
actually, when my shuffleboard light is on, it gets really light up. So I'm gonna turn that one on real quick because you can
There
see
you
it
go.
more now.
Holy cow! Wow.
Wow,
I
the
would love to
shuffleboard.
do stuff like I'd love to do these analog type arcade games, but unfortunately, I just do not have the room for them. At least
Yeah.
not here. Maybe if I ever find a way to get a bigger place, it could be an option down the
So,
road.
so you got the deluxe Pac-Man and Miss and
Those are also really cool, but they just were sold. They were just released to the wrong retailer.
Yeah.
I
So
think they
yeah,
were just released at the wrong time. That's what they should have started out with, personally.
Yeah. Oh man, could you imagine those things with the 2018 monitors? Oh
Well,
man,
no, they had BOEs. They just didn't want to invest in them. That's the thing. They didn't want to invest in them because John D. He stated that they bought a bundle of those screens first, and then when the community started shitting on them, that is when they went the following year and bought BOEs. Because the first one that had a BOE was the Golden Tee. That was the first one that had a BOE.
holy cow! Huh.
Yeah.
That's a custom build, right, Bobby?
What's that?
That's a custom build, right?
Yeah, this is a 19-in-1 poker machine that converted to, well, basically the Jammin' 19-in-1. So
Okay.
I was telling him
Very
earlier,
clever.
I bought this for $200.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, and it's a solid, I mean, heavy, over 100 pounds easily.
Yeah.
And then I have my Road Ride that was converted from the Spy Hunter right here.
And I believe on Amazon there is a Midway cabinet that has a lot of those classics like Robotron and Sinistar. That there's one of those going for like 400 on there right now. So I don't know. Maybe that's another one. That's another one I've been considering. Yeah, that's another one I've been considering because that one has a straight up CRT monitor. So actually getting it through the house is going to be a nightmare if I were to go ahead with it. And if I did, I wouldn't be able to do Mortal Kombat. So
I will say this Road Ride was a nightmare getting off my truck by myself.
Which one?
It was over 200 pounds easily. And it was just so heavy. It was kind of like when I bought the pinball machine, but I had at least another person to help me with that one. And it was, I think those are like 250, 260 pounds.
See, that's the problem for me. I'm by myself. So me buying a real cabinet would be a problem for me.
Yeah, real cabinet. Problem. I mean, I had a dolly, but just getting it off the bed onto the ground, I thought I was going to break it. And like I said, this thing is so solid. You can't break this thing if you try it. I mean, they're so heavy duty built, and they're meant to be turned on at all times forever. It seems like, until the CRT monitor blows out on you.
And that's the problem. You won't even find CRTs anymore. So eventually you're going to have to upgrade to an LED.
Well, it's not that you can't find them. It's that the ones that are designed for arcade cabinets are really hard to come by. Because my workplace gave me a couple of CRT televisions that they were about to throw out, but they're not arcade capable. They've been there since 2008, and they were mostly just used for Channel 1 news, and that was it. So they were. So if you really wanted to, you could technically use them as arcade monitors, but it'd be all over the place. You'd have to use some kind of VGA to RCA adapter, and just like, ugh, no thanks. I'd rather just go with one of the Unico replacements if I was going to go that far.
Okay, I can see that. The 26 inch.
Oh yeah, 26 or 19 inch. Either would be fine in my case. I think they did offer a 17 inch, but I cannot find that link at all.
No, I think the only one I seen for that was the 19 and 26.
Right.
Because I remember 19K Fox was on the site, and all I saw was a 19 and 26. So he bought a 26-inch. So I didn't see the 17 anywhere on his site. It would have.
Well, there was an image showing the monitors all together, and the smallest one was the 17-inch. But for whatever reason, maybe Unico canceled it. That's a real possibility. They've done that kind of thing before. But I really hope they start announcing their next home arcade product soon. The MVSX is cool and all, but could you imagine if it got an XL type release?
Oh yeah,
I would. I mean, they would have to basically put other titles than the fighters on there because.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Because mine is in my back. I have my MVSX, and it's fighter heavy. It's literally behind me. It's
and you got a hack on it as well.
And I think that's what really deterred it. But with the Halo hack, that's what makes the cabinet awesome too at the same time. But if they could change up the games list and kind of make it an even balance of all genres, then that'd be a winning cab. That would be a winning cab.
Yeah, frankly, that's really the deciding factor for these home arcade products is how customizable are they in the grander scheme of things. I mean, if it weren't for that hack, as you have said, I'm pretty sure the MVSX would have gone the way of iArcade even sooner.
What is your thought process, Constorm, about the toy shop pinballs that came out a couple years ago?
I like the idea, but unfortunately, the way that things are right now, well, it's really hard to actually find them. I mean, I know Walmart carries them.
They do.
But the price barely, if never drops. So it's really hard to justify going out of my way to find it when At Games also carries the same titles through their program. Though you have to drop them on a USB drive to run them on the Legends Ultimate, so I'm not going to lie, that's a little finicky. But otherwise, I guess it really depends. I mean, at least now they have a few more skins out and about. I think besides the black hole one, there's one for like Class of 1812 and another one that I can't remember. Yeah, they announced the alternative skins some time ago, but well, it took them a while getting them to actual market.
But they still have the same games list, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, maybe if somebody eventually hacks it or something, it'll probably have a better shot at release across the home arcade space. But right now, I just don't know what Toy Shock's even doing at the moment.
They're doing nothing. Detroit Love did a hack on it. A couple of arcade monitors, they actually turned into like a Terminator 2 pinball. A V-Pen. It was a couple. I seen one turn into a Flintstone V-Pen, which was actually pretty nice. So, I mean, I think it's more of a hacking pinball, hacking V-Pen right at this point because really those games, like you said, they're all on the At Games pinball. You can access all of those.
In the short time that I had the Legends Ultimate, I think the two pinball tables I messed with the most on that cabinet were Lights, Camera, Action, and Black Hole. Those were really fun. Though it would be gold if somehow At Games could work with Microsoft and bring over 3D Pinball Space Cadet into a virtual pinball space. Somebody made a version of the game for 3D Pin, so it's not impossible, but it's not remotely finished at all.
Yeah, I remember playing that game on the computer years ago.
Say that again, Bobby. Say that again, Bobby.
I remember playing Space Cadet a long time ago on the computer.
You don't have Space Cadet on your V-Pen now?
I don't even know, honestly. I have so many pins I haven't even gone through.
I highly doubt it. It was because people are largely trying to convert this old Windows XP pinball game from scratch. I think it's like it's kind of all over the place in terms of how to even install it. It's just that weird and unheard of.
Probably not then.
Still really cool, though, that people are going out of their way to convert this to an actual V-Pin table, especially with how it started out.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the KI V pen they're supposed to be bringing out with the 4K at Games Legends pinball?
Yeah, the Killer Instinct
Yeah,
the tables.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that put Arcade One up on edge, losing Killer Instinct like that. Or I don't know, maybe there's this dual release platform going on right now, but after the KI Pro, I think Arcade One Up lost it. I think
They did.
I think they realized, okay, we chose the wrong game to debut the Pro line. We're
No,
gonna have to take this back to the we're gonna have to take the whole idea back to the drawing board.
no, I disagree. I think that because they promoted at the same time with the 3/4 scale, that's what killed them. And then
Yeah.
the one of the Pro didn't have Pro sticks, Pro buttons, didn't have a Pro screen. You know,
They should have
Pro
just
Pro
branded it as
speakers.
an XL cabinet.
Yes.
Didn't they like put their OG one on sale right before the Pro came out too?
Yeah.
And then all the people
Yep,
bought
they did that.
the regular one, and then they sold the Pro, and everybody was all mad because they bought the OG
Yeah.
one. It was like $300, I think.
I mean, the fact is, had it been like more of a Pro standard, it had like a 26-inch screen, they had Bose speakers in there, they had maybe San Juan sticks and buttons, not generics, but actual San Juans. I think that cab would have did much better, and it would have been perceived better to the audience. But they went cheap at it. They put cheap shit in there, and they tried to generate it at $1,000 when it wasn't $1,000 cab. When you look at it
Absolutely
at
not.
Games Legend, and it has better parts in it, and it's half the price. It's some bullshit. That's what everybody was mad about.
You know, it's crazy. Why are they still not lighting up all their coin doors? You know, they're putting all the coin door slots now, but they're
Yeah,
picking
that's the
and
part that
choosing.
kind of irks me too. Honestly, it's really you would think now that these deluxe cabinets have formally been established, and also that Star Wars, a game that wasn't even a deluxe, had these light up coin doors at the start. You would think that the deluxe cabinets would all be like that, but for whatever reason, they decided not to. I don't know. Maybe they design these things a year in advance and don't really account for these new additions until way later, so they have an excuse to bring the cabinet back the next year. It's really kind of annoying, actually, and it's probably the reason Arcade One Up isn't able to progress further than they have.
What was their first rehash game that they released? Do you remember?
I
Pac-Man.
think it was Pac-Man. It was Pac-Man.
I'm assuming,
Pac-Man
yeah.
was the first rehash.
That was the start of all the rehashes.
Yeah, that was because Pac-Man was their first rehash. Because remember, they pushed Miss Pac-Man back, and they put Pac-Man and they had Miss Pac-Man out first in Mortal Kombat.
And then
Those
they
were
came
like
out with
the first two.
they came out with the first legacy lineups. Remember
Ugh.
that had all the weird form factor and everything.
I like the
Yeah.
Legacy. I like when the Legacy came out in Wave 3. I think it was different, and it gave you compilations of the company, but they never changed the games list up each Legacy after. They kept with the
Yeah.
same Legacy titles. That's the problem.
That
Had they
is
changed the whole thing up, like my thing, this is the thing. If you're gonna do Capcom and you're gonna focus on Street Fighter, fine. But you have to though every legacy has to have a different games list from each cabinet. So it makes it like, okay, I'm not gonna get rid of this cabinet because it has this game list, but this one is just as good. I'm gonna keep both of them in my lineup. But if you got similar game lists, it makes it easier. Like, well, why am I changing out from one to the other when they both have similar game lists? That's
Yeah.
the problem.
I know a
That's
lot of
what
people
people
didn't
been
like
complaining about.
the style of the form factor
The
with
wings.
the wings and the Tempest cab. I actually like the Tempest cab, but like that's the only one they made in that theme. You know, I know a
We're
lot of
talking
people
about the
that want
Atari
a
legacy.
Tempest cab.
Yeah.
They want the Atari Tempest in like a newer form factor, and
Yeah.
they what was the next one? Was it Centipede?
Yes.
That they did next Atari?
Centipede was the follow up, and it basically brought over games that should have been there from 2018. I cannot believe that it took them nearly 3 years to get Breakout on a Centipede cabinet. How do you get stuck that long? How?
But they said they have all the titles.
They do. They just
This is
They
the
just-
thing. This is
they
what I
just play-
don't understand.
They're playing with people right now.
Oh yeah.
No, they're just basically running people away from the product. And that's what they don't want to hear. They think that the community is being negative to them, but the community is actually telling them, you're actually fucking shit up. Literally, you're fucking it up.
They're certainly being really stubborn right now. They need to stop planning for the following year and start asking themselves, what all are the fans asking for and what needs to be in the cabinet now? Because if they're going to come out with Missile Command, more than likely the approach they're going to take is it's going to be the Centipede game list again. That's pretty obvious. But could you imagine if they went out of their way to include everything from the Pong list in there?
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
That would
mean,
be
it would
interesting,
be-
though.
And you know,
very interesting. I'm not really sure how ND 500 would play on Missile Command's control scheme. However, that would be that'd be very hard to say.
It's just like the Defender Partycade should have been on the Defender 3/4. That should have been on that games list.
Absolutely, that was a complete misfire on their part, and they deserve to get tackled as bad as they were over it.
didn't they mess up the whole button scheme on the Defender?
Yeah, but the fact is, they came up with the Partycade, the Carolina Wine Mixer, and it wanted to be in an awesome game list. That was like the cat.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it sold out because of that.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure the majority of people who got the Defender Partycade wound up getting the actual cabinet to go with it, maybe a few days to weeks after the fact, so that way they could have the definitive version of that game.
And it's crazy because, like, for me, when I was collecting these, I was confused as to why some of their other things, like, for example, I think it was on that one, but also the little sit-down cabs, which I didn't get any of the sit-down.
You talking about Outrun and Star Wars?
Yeah, well, I was thinking, like, Sinistar and Gorf, like, why are these not on 3/4 cabs?
That's part of my 25 game one listing.
Yeah, I can understand that. Sinistar is really cool, but the really hard thing to say is, what can you include with it? What is there to realistically have alongside this to justify getting its own release?
That's true.
But which counter, like, head to head was that on? Do you remember?
Which one, Gorf or Sinistar?
Both of them, because
they did not get a head to head release.
There was the only one in Defender cabs. They were only in that Defender Partycade. That was it.
Frankly, it would have been really cool for them to have done Gorf on the Tron cabinet.
Yes.
That would have been amazing to include. Yes. But you know damn well why they didn't. And it starts with a D. Seriously, that's the only reason why Gorf was not on the Tron cabinet. It was all Disney. Though, frankly, they're getting their just desserts right now, so to hell with them.
but no one want to share money. That's the problem. When you put these cabs out and you put up these games lists, no one want to split the profits. Everybody want the profits for themselves. Just like the T2 cab, when they should have added more sending gun games to that cab.
Should have been on there at least.
They should have added they should have added at least 2 more to that cab. That cab would have been a $700 cab in itself. They didn't want to do that.
With Revolution X and T2 alone, that would have justified the price they were asking at the time. A very stubborn price that still hasn't gone down to this day.
Well,
aside from a few occasional sales, obviously.
I got my T2 for $299, so I'm not even tripping about it.
Yeah, you got lucky.
I wasn't going to pay $700 for one game. That's crazy.
Absolutely.
You're paying $100 a level. That's ridiculous. That's just a pure ripoff. And no one is that. And I don't feel that anybody is that a diehard Terminator 2 fan to want one game for $700 unless it's a real cabinet.
Yeah. So I found the head to head that has Gorf and Sinistar on it. It is the Mortal Kombat 2 one.
Huh?
That doesn't make any sense.
See, look,
that doesn't sound right.
It's got Rampage, Joust, Gauntlet, Defender, Gorf, Root Beer Tapper, Klax, Tubin, and Sinistar.
Root Beer Tapper should have had his own cab by now.
I remember this one because I was so
Capper was
confused.
supposed to be getting its own cab, but Arcade One Up pulled back on it because no retailer wanted to pick it up. Just like freaking Double Dragon, and unfortunately, probably like that Cubert countercade from 2018. Though, frankly, I'm pretty sure that whatever is going to be happening, based on that thumbnail that we got when Fast and Furious was first announced, I think that that thumbnail was definitely playing the long game. We are absolutely going to be getting something from Midway Williams this fall. I don't know for sure if it's going to be Cubert and Robotron or if it's just going to be one of those two, but it's definitely one of those two. We just need to wait for the FCC leaks or Randy's leaks or whatever to know
think it'll be
sure.
Robotron. I think Robotron is the best one because Cubert, they've been sitting on it. They've been sitting on Cubert.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
Did I tell you that I created a Arcade One Up collectors list?
That I can believe.
So this document has I put all the 3/4 on here. It has all the games lists and everything, and it has all the different variations of the cabs that had multiple ones. So if you ever need to look at which games list they have, you could just come in here and look at it.
Right.
And I do need to. It's funny because I was always looking for a big buck world to complement the Pro that I had, and I could never find one. By the time I was I didn't want to spend.
In Canada.
I didn't want to. Well, I remember seeing them at Best Buy, and I didn't want to spend $700 for it, And then it finally just went out of stock and never came back,
and now we're back, and now we're full circle with the deluxe edition.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I even threw Chinatown on here. I forgot about that NBA Jam.
Yeah, those partnerships are just all over the place in terms of why they even did them. I get it. I understand why they do it, but why do they need to make a big deal out of it?
Yeah,
especially right now, where they're already not doing well with their fans as it is.
Yeah, it's actually need to update this because of the
they
new.
Really messed that Frogger cab up.
Yeah, I was so pissed when I was trying to collect the stools that I realized it only was sold with the Frogger Special Edition, and you couldn't find it anywhere. So I ended up buying the Frogger that I have at Lowe's, but it's not the Special Edition.
Yeah, not a big deal. I'm sure a stool will pop up eventually.
Well, I got a stool cover from Etsy, and I just put it on like an NFL stool, and it was fine. So it's
whatever works.
And the same thing with my Golden Axe. They didn't make a stool for it, so I got a stool cover for that one. Golden Tee Classic. I mean, it pretty much has all of them. The Pro. Look at all the variants of Marvel superheroes I got.
Jeez.
Yeah, you have the limited and QVC editions as well.
I mean, at least they went out of their way to reveal all three of them at once and didn't stagger them throughout the year like they're doing with these deluxes. Yeah. Or like last year with legacies.
Mm-hmm.
Hated those I hate. Well, no, it was it was the year before. Those legacies were just unnecessary.
Look at all the different.
You're talking about the MK30, the Yoga Flame.
No, the 2021 legacies, the Galaga, the.
Oh yeah, I didn't care for none of them. I didn't buy none of them.
Oh, there's
honestly though, you scroll back up. The NBA Jam topper thing, that's a really cool idea. I would love to see Arcade One Up take a shot at that, or at least go back to that again with the XL cabinets in mind. Like, what would you think of them doing a Shaq Edition topper or a Golden Tee topper?
No, I'd rather see a Michael Jordan one. I think Michael Jordan is the sort-out player that everybody wants in the NBA Jam. Shaq is everywhere. I mean, no disrespect, Shaq had a great career, but it's Michael Jordan that everybody wants. When he signed that non-disclosure to not be included in any NBA game, he came out that sort-out player in it. So I would have liked to see Michael Jordan in the NBA Jam. If you do a Pro Edition or XL, a Pro Edition with Michael Jordan in it, I would pay $1,000 to cop that. That would be easy.
Yeah,
because
I'd only go for it if it had showtime and maximum hang time with it. $1,000 for 3 games is a little much, even
Well, if you put
regardless of
Max
who they get
in
away
there
with.
as well with Michael Jordan in the first 2 NBA jams, yes, I think you can see the cost in it.
And this one is actually the one that had the light up buttons and the little basketball toppers too. With
Yeah, the
light
funny
up.
thing, Arcade 1-Up has those on their website. They
Yeah,
have the basketball. You can buy the toppers on their website. I
Really?
can't pull the link up. Well, maybe I can. Hang on, let me try.
Hey, do you guys know what the funniest thing Arcade 1-Up has ever released? What is the
Uh-oh.
biggest joke of a cabinet release that you've ever seen from them? I already know which one it is. I'm just curious to see your thoughts.
I say the Defender cab. The Defender lineup was the biggest joke to me.
I'm gonna
That
pull
was
it
the
up.
biggest joke. And on top of that, when they dropped both legacies, the Mortal Kombat 2 legacy, and then they dropped Mortal Kombat 3 legacy right behind each other, that was a joke.
Yeah, whoops-a-daisy.
All right, here we go. This is the biggest joke thing that I've ever seen. I laughed so hard when I first found out about this. But for $500, you can get the Pac-Mania customizable sticker.
Yeah, I saw that. Don't get me wrong. I get where they were coming from with that. I do. I can see what they were doing, but frankly, it was a very weird call. Though, has anybody actually went out of their way to buy this and check the screen?
You know, I don't think so. I mean,
because
it's literally $100 more.
Trying to retroactively add the BOE and adding it with an extra sticker sheet. That would be the funniest thing ever if they did that.
And I would be mad because I bought the fucking Pac-Mania. I bought it.
I wonder how many people bought it just to take the stickers out and then send it back and like, hey, where's the stickers? You know? And then sold the stickers for like $50 because you can't find them anywhere else, you know. It's just funny. Like when I saw that, I couldn't believe what I was seeing there. Yeah. There's the outruns. I didn't get the sit downs because they were already.
The sit down was a horrible mess.
I heard a lot of people couldn't fit inside these things unless you were a kid.
Well, kids like them. Adults couldn't justify sitting in them.
There's the 40th that I wasn't able to get.
The 40th was my first Pac-Man cabinet. I didn't mind it all that much, but yeah, it didn't really get used all that much.
Yeah, either. This is actually one of the ones I don't have yet.
Give it time. It's easy to come across if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, it is.
This is the other one I don't have. The Pac-Man
Plus version.
8-in-1.
That one was okay, but it was pretty much just nothing special in the long term. It was all, the only big thing about it was that light up J plate. That was it.
Yeah.
I remember when that one went on sale, the wood grain one. I remember the.
Oh yeah, I got that one on sale when it went. Remember the eBay
sale? It was the 2021 game list. Could you imagine if it had the 22 list and was a deluxe? I think that one would have actually had a pretty decent audience in that case, just as long as they didn't, go back to the TN monitor.
I remember the VIP outlet sales they had for these for like, it was like 300, right? 200, 300.
It was $299.
Yeah. We were in 2018 prices for a second there.
Yeah.
The Rampage, they only messed up with the control panel. Had they made it that 4-player one and spread the buttons out, that one would have sold much better.
Yeah, the reaction speed was a little slow too. I got a chance to play this one at a pawn shop in the next town over, and I think it was sitting there, and it was just sitting out. I messed around with it, and the game's played okay, but I could definitely see where the
Defender coming from. Defender was trash.
Yeah, the control vinyl was garbage. Space Invaders, the second cabinet I ever got. Really cool idea. Pointless game list. No reason Space Invaders original couldn't have just been a graphics option, and they could have put something else there instead, like elevator action or kicks.
That's true. But if they do bring that cab back out, they do need to make a title legacy with both Space Invaders included in that game lineup. But they need to make another game their main focus.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's our Star Wars rehashes.
Well, I still got my OG Star Wars. I think that's one of the best cabinets by far. Nothing beats Star Wars.
Wouldn't mind that one as much if it had been a deluxe from the start.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
yes,
you
the
can't
new
really
one,
do much
yes.
with the game list.
Oh yeah, this is the Walmart
Street Fighter.
championship. Yeah.
Well, they
Yes,
screwed up with the sound.
Capcom Concrete Edition.
The concrete. Yeah, the big blue. You know, it's funny. I don't know if I told you this story, but my big blue, and I actually have 3 cabinets that are like problem child cabinets for me.
Mhm.
The big blue, the Marvel vs. Capcom 1, and my X-Men vs. Street Fighter. They're all in that same corner over there. And ever since I bought them, they all had this weird issue where they would just restart like in a boot loop over and over again
All
sometimes.
3 of them?
But they would never do it at the same time, and they would never they wouldn't always do it. Sometimes they boot up just fine. But I talked with Arcade One Up, and they sent me every piece, every part that you can get for the Big Blue. I probably can make up my own Big Blue just from the parts now.
Hey,
And
Bobby, I don't mean to interrupt you, but look on the screen. Look what Constorm pulled up.
oh yeah, how much are they?
$15. That's actually not that bad of a price. I might get them when I go to get the Jack Edition.
Hey,
So-
you know it's funny. You can buy those, and you can buy the topper as well. I've seen the topper on like Etsy or something.
Well, it's a custom version of it, but yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, virtually everything else is out of stock. The Space Invaders and Rampage joysticks, it's all just buttons from here. That's really it. Yeah, there's really nothing new that's happened in recent memory yet. Though this is kind of funny to see that Killer Instinct, all this time in, is still up for sale.
Wait a minute, I thought they sold out.
No.
Yo, I thought they sold out.
No. I did, however, borrow the side panel to try and develop a template. If I eventually do somehow get the resources together to buy this, I'm gonna reskin it to Mortal Kombat 1. Not Mortal Kombat Carlos Pensia, Mortal Kombat upcoming in September. Partly because it would be really easy. The white color scheme would work well on this setup.
Oh, look, I even added the Casino Cade on here now.
Oh yeah, that's been up for a while.
So, did you guys notice that they did change some of the games on the Casino Cade?
I did see that. Yeah, I did. Yeah. That was that because it was the first render. It's like all games were subjected to change, so they did.
What all did they change out? Did you see?
I forgot what game. It was a few games. I think it was like 4 or 5 games they switched out.
Yeah, I actually did a. I think I created a document that showed the differences between the Casino Cade, and I can find it.
Oh, great! They buried the Casino Cade. That's just fantastic. Oh, there it is.
No, it's right there.
Yeah, it should be incoming soon.
Mm. So, what all did they change here?
So the way that you can find it, I'm trying to find the original document, but there's some of the games list they like rearranged and they changed some of the names of things. One of them was the Sudoku one that changed a little bit, and a couple of the games are new and a couple they took out, and I'm trying to remember which ones they are. I actually I have a document here somewhere. I gotta find it.
I can see where they're coming from with the Casino Cade. It's a really cool idea, but they gotta do something about that screen.
It's just too small to me, and there's no hand slot, no hand pull. It's not enough for me to justify $600. It just don't. I don't see it. I don't see it.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm gonna wait for if this one gets a Home Shop Network release. That'll be the best place that it sells. I can't think of anywhere else that would willingly pick this up.
Yeah.
And I might just pick this up because my girlfriend really likes messing around with gambling stuff, and she's trying to get away from the real thing. So this might be her way to get out of it.
Yeah.
Back to my big blue thing. They ended up not being able to fix it, and so what they did was they just sent me the Yoga Flame cab for free.
Oh wow, lucky you!
Oh wow.
That was when they were more generous in their issues.
Well, the thing is, they sold. Remember at the Red Cross event, they sold they got rid of a bunch of big blues because I actually have a second big blue off that Red Cross. So I have two big blues in here.
Yeah.
I made one into a turbo, and then I kept one as the actual original big blue.
Yeah, Big Blue is my biggest. I would say out of all three of those, that one is the one that does it the most. And it's really strange. It's almost like if I keep them on for a while, they like warm up and then they stop rebooting.
Did you ever Did you decase the housing that's around the PCB board? Maybe they're just overheating.
So that was the one where they sent me all the new parts. I have like 2 PCBs, a new monitor, new control deck. I can literally build a whole new Big Blue with all these parts and nothing worked, and I couldn't figure it out, and they couldn't figure it out. And they're like, you know what? We're sorry. We'll just give you a Yoga Flame if you'll accept it. And I was like, okay,
They didn't want to send you the Hadouken one. They send you the bullshit Yoga Flame.
They sent me that one. Yeah, I wanted the Hadouken one, but I ended up buying that one eventually. But the Big Blue, when I turned on my arcade down a little bit ago, it was doing the boot, but the other ones weren't. And so it's just one of those weird things. I tried different outlets. I tried it. Like I said, if I turn them on and leave them running for a while, they seem fine. So it must be some kind of issue with the, I don't know what else it could be, because I changed all the parts out. So.
Well, gentlemen, we get into 2 hours and 43 minutes, so I'm gonna go another 4 more minutes. I know we all got things to do in the morning, Sunday. I'm gonna close it out. I want to start with you, Bobby. You got anything to put out to the audience? I appreciate you coming out, so I'm gonna give you the floor.
Yeah, nothing too much really on my end. Like I said, I'm probably not gonna have that big of an arcade much longer when I start selling some of the cabs that I don't really play. And I have so many Mortal Kombats and so many Pac-Mans that I need to get rid of, and miss Pac-Mans, and I'll keep some of the ones that like Hadouken Street Fighter. I'll keep that one, and some of the other ones that are meaningful that I actually play, like an NBA Jam, an NFL Blitz, things like that. But we'll see what happens. I may just go crazy and sell more than I expected, because after I start selling some, it's not going to be in a collector's mindset anymore. I'm going to start getting money, and I'm going to be like, hey, maybe I can just buy this pinball that I've been wanting to get now, and just need to sell a few more. So it just depends, but I still want to keep a certain amount, and I still want to have my game room items and still have the arcade, that I had worked hard to put together. And we'll see how things look in the future here. We'll see.
What about you, Constorm? You got anything to put out to the audience?
Well, I guess the near future of Arcade 1-Up remains to be seen. Honestly, I wouldn't lose hope for new IP this year yet. We're only still halfway through the year, and a lot has happened during the halfway point in the past, with Marvel vs. Capcom 2 being revealed around the halfway point, along with NFL Blitz. And I think in previous years, this is usually where some major announcements happen anyway, so I figured we were going to see something during July. Though I was a little surprised that Arcade 1-Up didn't post a release window for Big Buck Hunter. According to Randy Records, we're looking at a September release window for that.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's pretty much just a case of it's not over yet, folks, so don't freak out.
It's not arcade yet.
This year was just another 2021 where all the new IP don't pop up till November and December anyway. So just relax.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time. They know when the holiday season's coming around and people got more money to spend, and they just time it right each year.
All right. Well, I will say this, gentlemen. I appreciate both of y'all coming out. I appreciate you, Constorm. I appreciate you, Bobby, for coming out and spending 3 hours chatting it up, just kicking it with me, talking about Arcade One Up. Uh, Everyone that will be looking at this down on the rerun, please subscribe to Bobby's Arcade and Constorm. They make some great content. Bobby have a great room tour. Constorm just started some new stuff up. I love his new content and just help encourage others to watch their content. For me, I would say in the next either tomorrow, well, to actually today and or Tuesday, my video will come out for my 25 most wanted arcade one up. So if y'all want to join me that day, both of y'all welcome to it. If you want me to send y'all a games list so you know what games I'm going to be talking about, just hit me up. Bobby, you have my link to my IG Constorm if you want it. I can send you the games list as well, so that way you know what games I'm talking about as well. I want to tell everybody thank you for coming out, supporting the content tonight, and this is it. I'm going to sleep.
All right. Have a good night, dude.
Have a good night, everyone. Peace.
Good night.